I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Hello, guys, and welcome to another Off the Rails podcast. I'm Kenny, and I'm joined with...
Hey there, everyone. I am Tony, and I am here with the episode 23 of OTR. And next to me is...
Ian, and I am here with...
I am Taylor. And so as we're going to start this off, Tony is going to do a challenge.
Oh,
okay. Yes. We are going to do a real challenge to see if Tony can stuff an entire KFC biscuit into his mouth.
Uh-oh.
And if you guys remember, me and Ian did this when it was just the two of us.
And we
So
both failed.
We both miserably failed with the really dry biscuits. So now we are going to make Tony attempt it along with Kenny. Because Kenny also has not done it.
Wait, what? I
Come on,
gotta do
the
this?
fat.
Yes.
What?
Do
Why
fat.
am I getting thrown in the ring all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Because you were the only two that haven't done it.
What are,
Grab biscuit, Kenny.
What is the parameters of this again?
You have to put the whole biscuit in your mouth at once.
Can't do a bite and then it's just...
All
so
at
I
once.
just gotta stuff it in my mouth?
Yes.
Grab
That's
biscuit,
what,
Kenny.
That's what she said.
Well, technically that is what she said. The only she, our
So
diversity
I just
hire.
have to fit a biscuit in my mouth?
Yeah, grab a biscuit.
You guys couldn't fit a biscuit in your mouth?
I did, but I almost gagged because it was rough.
I did
It was
it, but
bigger
it was
than that.
so dry.
They gave us pretty big dry biscuits. They were
Sounds like
they
weak
were almost
sauce.
like hockey puck in
It does sound
diameter.
like weak sauce.
Sounds like weak sauce.
Like, this
Good.
isn't like the Popeyes biscuit challenge.
You're
where you
making a
gotta
whole
try
lot
and
of
eat a whole bunch
excuses and
Popeye
still haven't
biscuits
grabbed a
without
biscuit,
any
And
Kenny.
that's Texas Roadhouse, actually.
No, there is the
Nonsense.
Popeye.
Oh, is
Popeye
there?
biscuit.
I'm pretty sure
Is
there's
there?
a Popeyes version of that.
I'll do it.
I would
You're doing a
totally,
whole lot of
I
that,
would,
too.
Like,
I
there's
would
a lot of
totally,
jokes on TikTok about the Popeyes biscuits being utilized as like torture methods.
I would
I'll do it.
You're doing a
totally,
lot of this and still
Ooh,
haven't grabbed a
better turn that
biscuit.
I would totally do
I don't
the
know.
Texas
I
Roadhouse
wasn't
rolls.
told
I'm
I was going to be
obsessed
doing this
with
challenge
those.
until all of a sudden we're going live, and then you guys open up your mouths like
Because
you had
if I
something to
didn't
say.
do it right now, I would never get the chance.
I really do need to turn down your
Come on,
mic.
Kenny.
Jeebus.
Pick it up.
Let's see Tony do it first.
What? No. Get your weapon.
Do it together.
Choose your weapon,
That's
sir.
not
Do it
mine.
together.
I'm not choosing a weapon. I'm giving a landmine.
Choose your weapon.
I gotta swallow this thing.
Right
I'm
now.
gonna look
Same
like
time.
an old man.
Same time.
And
All right, let me see. Okay.
why he's rather
Have
picky
you
about it. We just
grabbed
grabbed
just
just
a
we
little
saw.
crumb?
There we go.
I expected him to pull out like the tiniest little broken off piece.
Pinches it on his way out to half. Oh.
Challenge accepted. And then what? Are we supposed to say stuffy bunny afterwards? What's happening here?
No, just to eat it.
You had to eat it in one bite.
No water, right?
We didn't have butter. We didn't have anything. So you guys
So
can't
just-
put butter or
So I'm
honey
just
on
supposed
it.
to mouth this down?
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you guys done the 7 cracker challenge?
No.
Saltines?
I've done that in real life. It is not that
Okay.
I
Well, you
haven't.
guys are going to need to fill in the space
hard. Okay, we will.
since
there,
Tony and I are going to be occupied.
That's
You go
fine.
into
We
the
can do
desert.
this.
All right, kids. 1, 2, 3. Choke to death. Oh,
Oh, Tony's trying.
Tony's getting it. Tony's getting. Oh, and Kenny got it.
Kenny got it. Tony had to actually
Tony had to
shove it
manhandle-
in there.
Tony had to manhandle in there. All right, now let's see here. Kenny looks pretty confident, although his eyes have widened a little bit. I think.
Yeah, like it's
he
so
looks like he's
dry or
panicking
something.
smidge. Like his eyes are widening. Oh, no.
Tony's doing like a whole chubby bunny with his
Tony looks
teeth
like a
puffed out like a chipmunk.
He's about the size and shape of Theodore, but now he looks like Theodore as well in the face.
He's wearing a green shirt too.
Exactly. Come on. Whoever wins it first gets me.
Kenny's got one cheek completely
I didn't realize we
stuck.
were racing.
Is it stuck
Come
to
on.
the top of your mouth yet?
No, so I was told that all I had to do was put it in my mouth.
Well, this is the game that changes rules. Keep chewing. So.
I'm done.
Oh!
The fat man wins it by a mile, while skinny fat over there is still working it.
As Ian likes to say, do the fat.
He did the fat.
He did the fat.
He did the fat.
That is 100%.
Kenny's over there like trying to get some moisture
Kenny's
in there.
working it. He is working it. He's getting there.
This doesn't feel that bad, though.
That cheek is getting smaller.
You guys actually had, pretty decent
You guys had
biscuits.
smaller biscuits than we did.
Yeah, say ours were bigger and a lot drier.
Excuses.
No.
That sounds like
No.
excuses.
We were
Ours were between this in diameter.
100% excuses.
Okay. So,
Not at all.
that wasn't so
Fine.
bad.
You know what? Next OTR,
I think the
we'll have someone make
saltine challenge was a lot
big
harder.
biscuits, and all
I'll
four
do
of
the
us will go
saltine
at it.
challenge. I will happily do
Okay.
the saltine challenge.
We'll do a TikTok. They want to complain saying that we got off easy. Fine, we'll have someone get 4
That didn't
big
feel so bad.
biscuits, and then all 4 of us will do it, and we'll put it up
I
as a
can
TikTok
go.
and a short.
I'll go get tested Roadhouse rolls. We'll do it with them. Them are addicting.
Oh, I'm gonna regret that later, though. I tell you what. Oh.
You see, Coney, it was a long con to make you suffer. No, but I almost got the entire one in my mouth. I
Are
got
you
my
gonna eat
teeth
your
on the other
chicken
side of
skin?
it, and then it's like Taylor can see
My
my
what?
eyes. My
No.
eyes
Yeah,
like
his
chicken
eyes
skin?
were.
I was
Going
like,
out
this is
pretty
the
bad.
problem.
But you want to eat chicken skin?
The biscuit made me hungry. Okay.
So much for that.
He's
diet.
doing the fat.
Eat your other chicken.
I offered it to Taylor.
Well, there's also still another one in there. I don't know who hasn't eaten their second
Me.
one yet.
I haven't.
You
eaten
got
this
another
yet.
one in here.
I'm probably not going to eat it, to be honest, but thank you.
Nerd.
If you don't want it, Dad, do you want it?
I am also trying to lose the weight.
Mm.
Will you hand me that bucket of chicken?
There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
need a-
All right, well, let me fill in the dead space after that. Oh, so out of nowhere challenge.
Impromptu biscuit race.
I did not know any of that was happening. I did not know I was racing him.
I didn't know that either. That was like.
I didn't know about the racing part, but I knew
But I'm
if
impressed
I
by how
didn't
fast
do
you
it
put that
right
thing
after
down.
the intro, it wasn't gonna happen.
Although it was surprisingly easy, even from my perspective.
Well, it's funny because like you looked like you had like a jawbreaker on one side of your mouth. Like it was like.
Well, I wanted to talk, so I just moved everything over there and just stored it away for a second.
It looked like you were unlocking new parts of your face for a minute there, dude. Pretty sure I saw your like around your eye socket was also inflated.
He looked like Star-Lord at the end of Guardians 3.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Did that look cool?
Did that look cool? It was a dumb scene. It was a dumb scene. It was a dumb scene that they could bring Adam Warlock back into. And they had that whole like Jesus thing
I still see the guy that.
the
between Adam and
the
God.
Da Vinci painting.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the name of that painting is Adam
It probably is.
because it shows God and Adam. So,
So
to really bum out the mood, since we started with something so hilarious,
Yeah.
Here we go into geopolitics.
geopolitics.
Oh, there it is.
I haven't done this in a while.
That's actually
I
true.
don't
Let's
miss
start
it.
with Maui.
I don't miss it.
That is
Not
that
gonna
is-
lie.
that is true. He hasn't done it. When we did our duo OTR, when it was just him and I, now that I think about it, he didn't talk about geopolitics at all during that entire time, and it was just me and him.
I can't say I miss geopolitics.
I
start-
can't
let's-
say you don't know anything though.
Exactly. I don't miss geopolitics.
Like I start
Because I
talking.
don't know what's ever going on. Because I don't watch the news. I think it's ridiculous.
You don't need to watch the nose. The nose.
The nose?
You don't
I
need
need
to
to watch a
the
nose
news
now.
in
First
order to
off-
understand
Here,
what's happening
I'll
in the
watch
world.
your nose because you got a pretty big
so
one.
first off, both statements are true.
let's start with Maui and what's going on there because that does actually translate into the bigger.
I
world
lied.
stage
Ian's
as
got a
well.
bigger nose.
Let's talk about,
yes.
FEMA and we can give you a one-time payment of $700 per household, but Biden's going to go 2 days later and petition Congress for $40 billion more dollars to send to Ukraine.
So
Hold on. to touch on that one really quick. I know, and yes, I will let you get to geopolitics. I'm not trying to.
I figured this counted as
derail
geopolitics.
But did you guys see the clips that
Are you trying to get your
that
beard
they
hair
had-
out of your mouth?
they had
Kind of.
got a call down like from the governor to shut down like all of the food sharing distribution that was going on? Yeah, I saw clips of it on TikTok. They're actually sending police out. They have communities getting together, sharing food and things like that because, FEMA's going to FEMA. And they're actually sending police officers out to shut down those events. Communities helping communities. They're not allowing it. And the dude even said, the police officer on the radio even said, I don't know why they're telling us to do this, but we have to shut you down. You need to stop doing this now.
Why?
That
He
is
doesn't know why.
Do you know why?
I have my suspicions, but
So, when I logged into Destiny 2 today, because I have no self-control,
great geopolitics.
one of the first things that popped up was, "Do you want to support our friends in Maui?" And they called it the Guardians for Maui.
That's pretty cool.
that's awesome.
So all you had to do was just buy a T-shirt with the Maui logo on it, and then the money would go to help people in Maui.
Yeah,
That's pretty baller.
I think
Go them.
I think that citizenship can actually just help out itself. There should be no reason why you have to rely on them. And I think that's kind of what the governor was doing down there, was making it to where they were reliant on the state.
Wildfires are bad. I don't know if you've driven around our home here lately, but I went out yonder way to yon Tutawilla,
Yawn.
and we got some pretty bad fires going through there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's where the smoke came from, actually.
No, because those ones were there. Those ones were there and out a couple weeks ago.
No.
The smoke that rolled in was towards Echo, I think it is, more on that area.
Okay.
But no, I've been around when some of those wildfires were actually like still blazing, and like I was there to volunteer to help, but I mean I'm useless at that point at that stage. So
Suffice it to say that this is something that affects us close to home, and we are not immune to the idea of wildfires. We have
Absolutely
fires
not.
happening in our backyards all the time here.
we have a season that we call fire season.
So we are very aware of what Maui is going through. We have experienced things like wildfires that tear up whole areas of our community. We even have floods. And I'm not trying to turn this into a competition where, like, well, we got it worse or anything like that, but it's more of an empathetic thing that I know what they're going through. We have the same kind of dangers here. And
Yeah, about the only
I-
thing that they have that we don't have is, well, like hurricanes. We're not at risk of a hurricane or volcano. That being said, everyone's got their own problems.
I would say
I'm watching the rage
that
in
I
Ian's
have all
face
the
just grow.
the faith and love and support for them that I can muster
I think
up.
it bugs you more
And
than
probably for the
this
first
bugs you
time
more
as
than
a
when I
studio,
mispronounce words.
we have
Hey,
our
Taylor, hold up.
for the first time as a studio, I think we could all say that we are in support of something happening in the world. Because this isn't going to be like one of those things where something happens in the news and a bunch of people somewhere in this country think, oh, that wasn't supposed to happen, and then they say, we're with blah, blah, blah. We've never done that as a studio, but I think right now we could all agree that we are with Maui.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Your Move Studios is with Maui. We've
Tell
never
you-
done that before, but here we go. And also, at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, saying that we're in supporting them in spirit doesn't mean a whole lot. That being said,
It's
You
the
know-
first time we've done it as a studio.
yeah, we usually stay away from.
But I mean, there's nothing
statements like that.
political about an entire island of people almost losing their homes and lives to wild.
Well, I think it's
Like-
just because, like, in general, we stay away from statements like that. But
Agreed.
100% because we know what it's like
Yep.
to have that happen and nearly be evicted from our homes, or have our friends, family, and coworkers, like during that flood,
Yep.
friends, family, and coworkers have watched their livelihood get taken out.
Yeah.
We can understand what they're going
I
through.
mean, me and you were in there doing flood disaster relief that day.
right down in that was in
Pilot Rock.
Pilot Rock.
Funny thing
even.
is, we didn't even know we were there until I was like, I know you. Hi, what you doing, buddy?
Yeah, it was that.
What are you guys
It wa-
doing down in Pilot Rock?
So
we
actually,
were helping with the flood.
yeah, there was a flood. It was 20, wasn't it? 20 or 21?
I think it was
20.
20.
Yeah, and during the COVID year, there was a flash flood that went through Pilot Rock, and I have, family and friends down there, so I went down there to help do flood relief, try to sandbag some things really quick and get things down. And I ran into this guy while we were down there.
I had a friend and her mother who I got out of there because their house was in the risk of flood, so I evacuated them, and then I went back to help.
Hmm. Neato. I was probably several hundred miles away that year. If it was during the COVID year. Because I was gone.
No, that wasn't when you were out on orders. Don't know where you were, but it was like the summer of the lockdowns. So we weren't back
Summer.
at work yet.
I might have been in Idaho then. Because I was getting ready to deploy
That
before COVID
that
hit.
actually that sounds familiar.
And then I got sent back because they weren't going to take us
Yeah.
to the airport.
Yeah, that actually does. That sounds familiar. The Idaho thing. So
Well, that sucks.
yeah,
What really gets me about Maui is that I've been to Maui. I don't know if anyone else here has.
I have not been to
Mm-mm.
Maui.
I've barely been out of Oregon.
I've been to Maui. I've been in Lahaina, where the banyan tree that burned up, which also spot of good news. Scientists look at the tree. The tree is going to survive, even though the great banyan tree that burned up, the roots are strong. It will survive. That was a big historic site for the people of Maui. Big tree that it was very important to them. The tree will survive. That is a very good spot of news. I know it's just a tree to you guys, but like, you know, I've been there and I saw the tree. I touched it was a big tree, and it was a very beautiful place. And it makes me very sad that a lot of places I know and like were there, you know, like there was this big old strip mall in Lahaina that I shopped at. I bought my stepdad a T-shirt from there, and it's just gone now. They did a flyover, and I'm like, that was where I was. I've been in Lahaina and all these great places that were, you know, local businesses that have been there for decades are just gone, and it's heartbreaking because like I know it.
There's man, I forgot what I was gonna say. Daggum.
So that
It must have not been that important.
I just it blows my mind that they think
Off the rails.
Shoe tree, that's what it was.
Shoe tree.
It blows my mind that they think a one-time $700 payment is in any way going to help these people, but then have the audacity to ask for $40 billion more to send to freaking Ukraine.
That's because we're fighting a proxy war.
Agreed.
I agree with both of you. Yes, we are. Also, yes, it's ridiculous.
Oh, I'm not saying
We-
it's not
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
I'm just
I was
saying that's
like,
why we're sending the money there is because we're not fighting Russia.
We literally have confirmed SF troops on target doing strikes and stuff. So yes, we're totally don't have, you know, I'm pretty sure it was Delta and like a team of SEALs on boots on ground in Ukraine doing operations. We totally don't have U.S. Special Forces and DevGru on
Wait.
target.
We are they. So, have you any of you guys been to Central Oregon? Over
Which
by
part?
like Bend, Madras, Redmond.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you guys happen to know down? It was Highway 95 or is either Highway 95 or Highway 97? There was the shoe tree.
97.
Do you guys know the shoe tree?
Can't say I do now.
There's
I do.
there's along that highway. There's a tree covered in shoes. Just like people just come by and hang shoes on the branches. The original one, someone burnt down.
That sucks.
That's frustrating. That there's something so cool. The community comes together. It's out in the middle of nowhere. First of all, the community comes together and they just hang shoes from it. And then someone came down and burnt it all. And so the community came together and made a new shoe tree along the same highway.
Yep.
So we got David in the chat.
David!
All right.
Hey,
He
what's going on?
says, you finally doing off the rails, and I need to drive to Boise soon. Well, you know, dude, just plug in your Bluetooth, turn them on, and listen to us while you drive.
You should have gone last weekend.
So
I played with David
I'm
last
fairly
weekend while I was
certain
in
that
Boise.
This is
so.
something that he didn't decide on when he gets to go. I don't think that this is a leisurely
Actually, I
trip.
think he mentioned something about going.
Y'all
I
ever been
don't.
to
I don't
Tillamook
think
To
it's a
me.
leisurely trip though.
I have been to Tillamook once. I've been to the coast a couple
Did
times.
you go to the octopus tree?
I did not go to the octopus tree.
I have
Ben?
no idea what you're even talking
I
about.
went to the cheese
Down in
factory.
Tillamook, Oregon?
I want to go to Prescott and see
You went to the cheese
Big
factory?
The
Juniper.
Tillamook cheese factory.
Dude,
yeah.
I
I
went
so
there like
wanna
4
see
or
that.
5 times over the years. Got ice cream and cheese curds every time, bro. The
I did
best.
get ice cream. Yes, I
Also
got
some hunter sausage.
There's a lot of dead sons. That sounds like a lot of excuses to me, David.
David.
Why
know what
are
we're
we
saying,
just
David,
mean
for
mugging
what
David with our voices?
David.
Oh,
Why you can't listen to our podcast is because he's got to drive to Boise and there's
Get
a lot of
YouTube
dead
Premium
sons.
to download it, David.
Yeah, I want to go to Prescott. I want to go see the Big Juniper.
I honestly thought you were about to end that sentence with David. Just because
David.
everyone else.
David.
I want to go back to the beach at some point. I'm trying to talk to my lady friend about at some point going down to Seaside and getting that Shiloh Inn right on the coast above Moe's. Have you been to Seaside much, Kenny?
I have been to Seaside, yes.
So you know that Shiloh Inn that's like right on the coast.
Mhm.
Wanna get a room
I've
there.
been. My job has taken me to a hotel on the coast because I took a team out there,
So
and I got to stay at the beach.
Beach
something
hotels are fun.
Their
something
high school
maybe
in Seaside is on the beach.
I've been there. I actually did a clinic there my freshman year. We fun fact. Sorry to interrupt, but this is actually a really funny story. The percussion teacher at Seaside High School that year
One
taught
time at
my
band
mom
camp.
and dad, and he had met my older sister and my older brother, but he had never met me before. And
When you're ready.
oh, well, it'll not be live when we're done, dummy. It'll be, when we're done. I
it,
didn't stutter.
no, not David. David.
It's David.
David. Anyways,
There you go.
Are we
And so
sure
it was
it's
the greatest
David and
mind
not
trip
David?
in the world.
No, this is
for-
David,
Because you
not
can't
David.
say
Okay.
David and be angry.
it was the greatest mind trip in the world for everyone in my band class because I was kind of a lesser known guy. For all of a sudden, the guest guy to go, "Hey, Ian knows what's up, right?" And everyone's like, "How do you know this random guy from Seaside?" I was like, "He taught my parents." It was a very funny encounter.
So, something maybe a little bit cheaper instead of staying in Seaside
I was gonna
is
talk about
staying in
geopolitics.
Long Beach.
Well, no, I want that specific hotel.
Oh.
Like that. Ever since
Because
I was a kid, I went there and I saw that hotel. I was like, I want to stay in that one.
When I went this year, we stayed in Long Beach and
Yeah.
the condos that are
That
right
wasn't
there
gonna
on
be
the beach.
necessarily like.
And they were really nice.
uplifting
And
topic
Seaside's
either.
only like a 20-minute drive from there.
It wasn't.
Well, my trips going to Tillamook when I was growing up, we did it through our
I
church.
mean, it's something that would
and,
probably frustrate everyone
one
here.
of our leaders' grandparents had a cabin at the beach that they let us stay in,
Mhm.
and it was like on the beach, so we got to stay in this beachside
I
cabin.
don't know.
at
You put the
Tillamook.
word
It was
cabin in anything, and all of a
so
sudden sounds like a
cool.
horror story.
Yeah.
No, it was actually a really
On the
cool little
beach.
cabin.
Not so bad.
My
Cabin on
mom's
the
my
beach.
mom's down in California
Ooh,
right
some
now.
fishy's
She
going.
actually she drove over the Golden Gate
No pun
Bridge today.
intended.
When I went down to San
That-
Francisco, we didn't
that
actually
should
get to drive
be-
over the
well,
Golden
that
Gate
should
Bridge,
be
we
a-
did get
like
to
a-
see it.
a
We
movie
also got to see,
skit.
like, a
Cabin on the
second of
beach.
Alcatraz. I was like,
Something
oh, hey,
smells
I think
fishy.
that's Alcatraz over there.
Yeah, the her boyfriend right now. It seems like he's trying to take her
There's
all
something
the way
fishy
down
going
the
on
coast
at
of
that
California.
cabin.
Because
On the
since she's
beach.
been there, because they met us last weekend
There's a
in
bunch of
Boise.
outtakes and
And
quotes
then they
as
got
if it's a
there
movie trailer.
the day we came home, so that next Sunday, and they've spent the time since going to almost every beach along the
Mhm.
California coast.
I've been wanting us to do like so badly to just make like a horror movie trailer, just the trailer. That's it. Not
Didn't
an
you already
actual
do
one.
one with your son?
Yeah, we did.
And so we did.
We.
I mean, it was fairly good. One of the
that
best
was-
shots
we-
we've ever
we
did
did-
was in
we-
that short.
right with the spider.
Yeah.
We did a trailer and the skit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was beautiful.
yeah.
I wasn't there.
It
for
could be
but I wish I had been.
Technically, technically speaking, it could have been done better, technician-wise.
Well, I mean, we say that about a lot of our stuff. I mean, look at Kevin Castle. That could have been so much better. but
Yeah.
we just infighting, and we ruined what could have been a really good idea.
I still like watching your head bounce off the wall. It's still my favorite
It's
part
not
of
my
that.
part. I don't like watching my head bounce off the wall. I like watching tape.
You
like watching
you had
David's
your head
hand.
bounced off the wall by 2 other people in this group.
And then I like watching David's hand make contact because he misses Gabe, and then you see my hand come up because I realize this is gonna hit, so I try to come up for a block, and I get to out here,
It
and then you see it, and you see my head go.
So
and
it's-
And
David
then
just
watching your head
mollywalks
bounce off
side
the
of my
window
so
head.
twice when
technically,
Kenny rode into
you
you.
bounced your own head off the wall, and David assisted.
No. That was when we were both standing, and David. That was when we did like the Superman 2-guy punch. We weren't even against the wall that time. Although, yeah, David
he
does
was a couple
initially do a gun disarm and just throw my head into a wall.
And then there's Kenny.
The amount
When
of
he- when-
disrespect.
Yeah.
When he
And then when
bounced
we
your
did
head.
that first video I was ever in, you like did like the
The
I'm so excited to
rowboat.
row across the seat to just start smashing my head
Yeah,
into the bus
I think your
window.
head bounced like 2 or 3 times in that
Yeah,
video.
It did. I remember that. He's like, ding, 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 ding.
And you're just like, oh, excited. That's like the great thing I've seen.
Squirrel.
Last part was when you stood straight up and knocked his head. You're like, "We've made land." Hands over there,
We-
unconscious.
We make land.
There's so many good little things we've done behind the scenes. Like, do you remember how the ending of Typing Mittens came about?
Yes.
Were you there for that, Kenny?
No,
Okay. Did you ever watch the Typing
I
Mittens?
watched
skit?
it. Yes.
So that whole end bit where I just execute Gabe on the spot, that was like, that was completely just, hey, I got an idea. It's really dark, but whatever. And then just straight up, these don't work at all. Bang. They work great, folks.
Ian came up with that one, and I immediately greenlit it. I was like, "No, that's amazing. Let's do it."
Just the darkest end of that commercial ever. Just executes the guy on the spot in front of the camera. Just bang. Anyways, I still want to do that. Like, I still want you to do that, like, Serbian arms dealer commercial, where you're like, we got this and we got this and we got this, and then like one of us drops it in the background, and then it goes to tech, and you go, what did you do? And you walk away. It goes to technical difficulties, and you hear someone get shot in the background, and then it comes back, and like one of us, probably me, would be being dragged off screen. You'd see my legs leave screen, and someone else will come on wearing my name tag. It was we pitched this a while ago, and we greenlit it.
I do
but we
not.
never-
I do not remember this
Oh,
actually.
This was a couple years ago. Back when we were still.
we were still at Midco when that.
Yeah, we were
I
still at
don't- I don't recall
Midco.
this one at all.
Yeah, we pitched this whole like you were like a
I'll be right
like
back. I gotta
Eastern European arms dealer, and you were just we got this and we got this, and you get the free bowl of curry. And it was gonna be like me and Tony were screwing around in the background. One of us was gonna drop something. You turned around and off screen you execute one of us, and then it's getting dragged out of frame. Another guy steps in wearing my name tag, like wiping blood off it and stuff. It's just like the dumbest, darkest, upbeat commercial we can make. And I still have all the stuff. We could still do it. We would just need to get like Gabe or David in for like a day, like 20 minutes just for that one scene.
This reminds me of a skit done by a popular TV show that sounds something like Guy and Family, where they go to a
Guy
pet
and
store.
Family. Nice. Please continue. I'm sorry.
where they go to a pet store and the guy's like, "Oh, you looking for pet?" And he holds up a sign that says the cameras are watching, and he's like, "So, what kind of pet are you looking for? Single action bunny, a semi-automatic bunny, pump action bunny. We've got all the bunnies."
That is amazing. I never actually saw it before, but that's funny. I still love the color
That's what
swatch.
that makes me think of when you say that skit.
I still love the color swatch one where it's Peters becomes Muslim for the episode. He pulls up to the checkpoint. The cop pulls up the color swatches. It's good, not good. He's like, "You're good." The time like Peter joins ISIS or something.
Oh, dang. Uh-oh. So, here I am about to talk about geopolitics. North Korea.
What do they do now? I haven't
Wow,
heard
they
anything.
haven't been in the news for quite a minute.
They felt
Well, that's because
underutilized.
they have almost completed their long-time goal of being totally isolated from the world. And you know what good that's doing them.
Yeah. All right, let's
you know
hear it.
what,
What do you got?
know what finally got them to get to that point?
What?
COVID. When you take someone that's authoritarian, like the regime in North Korea, and their ultimate goal is to isolate their kingdom, as they put it, from the rest of the world, COVID's something that's going to do it. But here's the fun thing, I'm going to say the fun thing about this situation, or at least I find it interesting. They want to isolate from the rest of the world. A good excuse is COVID-19.
Mhm.
But here's the real problem. I almost dropped my wand.
This right here, what he's doing, is the reason why he wears a headset for a mic now.
So the real reason why they had to self-isolate, and they were the first country to shut down their borders during the COVID pandemic, is because you take something like North Korea and you
David, North Korea still exists?
Also, yes, David. To your previous comment at wanting to do a parody of Kevin Castle, I would love to do that with you sometime. I'll even take another hit.
Definitely.
We were
Let's see
gonna
me get
make
punched in
a
the head.
series out of that.
Also true.
That was the original plan.
it's my understanding that roughly 40% of people in North Korea are malnourished. You take a population like that and you
Roughly
introduce something like COVID-19 into the population, it's going to tear your kingdom apart.
Yeah.
Now, people that run the regime might not care
No.
about their population, but can't have a kingdom without people. So you got to do something. Well, the stars aligned for them. They wanted to isolate their people from the rest of the world, so they closed their borders under the guise that they were protecting them from COVID. Everything got shut down. What ended up happening was that there's a lot of people that are trying to leave North Korea, obviously. I mean, I think everyone here would want to leave if they were a citizen of North Korea.
I'd want to kill him and take power.
Good luck.
You can't take out Kim Jong-un.
There are a ton of
Is he-
prisoners.
No,
he-
that
is
dude
he-
invented basketball.
Is he?
He's
I'll
also
just
the
play
only
some
person
Katy
to
Perry to
ever shoot
disorient
a
him.
perfect game of golf.
Yeah.
I'll just disorient him with some Katy Perry and margaritas.
Here's the fun thing about Kim Jong-un and his father Kim Jong-il is that they are literally Chuck Norris. Like, if you read a fact sheet that they produce themselves,
Yeah.
they describe themselves like Chuck Norris, like the jokes that we make about Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Like, it's unreal, the facts they come up with about those two. And the funny thing about it is when the Onion put out that magazine saying that Kim Jong Il was voted sexiest man alive, he thought they were serious, and he sent a response saying thank you.
Oh.
Like because they don't have humor in that country.
I mean,
it's just not part of their culture. So when the Onion, we know what the Onion is. When the Onion was like Kim Jong Il named world's sexiest man alive, they responded like, "Yes, thank you. We accept this award. We would deeply appreciate it."
David chimes in with, he also doesn't poop because gods don't defecate.
Yes.
But there's a lot of people that try to leave that country, and they become refugees in other countries. Now, North Korea has a pact with places like Russia and China that if they were to find North Koreans within their borders, they are to be deported back. Since COVID has hit, though, North Korea has not been accepting back any refugees.
So what you're saying is if they can make it, they've got it. They're going to spend their lives in a Russian
because
prison
China and
instead.
Russia keeps them in prison.
Let's say, I feel like
But
a
at
Russian
least
prison is
there
better
they
than
get,
North
well,
Korean prison.
No.
wait, I take it back.
So
I was going to say, at least
I don't
there they
exactly
get food.
know off the top of my head what prison is like in Russia or China. But that is where these people are being held until such time as Kim Jong-un is accepting immigrants back into the country, which they are not. So these people are stuck in some kind of weird limbo.
Did you
where
know that you could be caned in? Sorry to change the subject, but you can be caned in Singapore.
Yes.
Wicked.
They can
Yes.
legally cane you in Singapore.
Yeah.
Are you saying
Knew that.
Kane or
Now-
King?
Cane.
Okay.
Yes.
let's look
They
at the
whack you with a
history of
stick.
North Korea.
Yeah.
North Korea, back in the 1990s, was having a hard time building up partnerships with other countries because it's kind of hard to have the self-isolation philosophy and then be a functioning country
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't have itself even arid land to grow crops. So to be self-sustained, geography speaking, North Korea ain't it. So they tried to self-isolate in the early 1990s and had this massive famine, and it destroyed so much of their population. So people started to leave, and Kim Jong-un was not about that life.
Un or ill?
Eli Hemsworth.
Kim Jong
Eel.
Eli. Is that what we're gonna call him now? Kim Jong Il.
Is it ill or eel?
Il.
Kim Jong-il?
It's
It's
L.
Kim Jong
It's
Il.
pronounced eel, but it's I-L.
Yeah. Kim Jong Il and Kim Jong Un.
Yes, ill's the father.
Yes.
It was not about that life.
Okay.
But he was still fairly relaxed about the borders because the only border he cared about was the 17-mile long border
Mhm.
between him and South Korea.
17th parallel, right?
I don't know if it's the 17th parallel, but it's 17 miles long, the border between
It is.
them.
Yeah, it's the parallel.
And so, well, that's convenient that it happens to be the 17th parallel and 17 miles long.
Probably call it the 17th parallel because it's 17 miles long, Kenny.
No, it's because
there's
it's
no way
on
they
the 17th parallel.
Yeah.
Oh.
The
That's-
17th parallel is a figure used for global.
It's just a weird. It's just a nifty little coincidence.
I did not know that. Didn't even consider that. But yes, the border between North and South Korea is 17 miles long. Now, during Kim Jong-il's reign, he did not strengthen any of the border between him and China or Russia. So that's where a lot of people escaped from, especially during the 1990s when there was the famine. He didn't like it, and he didn't want people coming back. But he also had pacts with Russia and China that, hey, if you find my people, detain them, send them back. And that was that. He wasn't really being hard about it. What ended up happening is that when he died in 2011 and his son took over, Kim Jong-un dropped the hammer on the borders, and he gave all of his troops to kill orders on anybody going or coming to the northern borders between him and China and Russia. Now, they still have pacts between themselves and China and Russia. You have my people, bring them back. But then when COVID hit, he went back on his word and said, nope, I'm not taking anybody. Well, China and Russia are still, for some reason, observing this pact, but they can't send the people back, so they're stuck in prisons.
They're kind of already busy with an international war. They don't want to
Mhm.
make the same mistake that Germany and Japan did.
So this is kind of... I'm not thinking of the right name for the country that's over in Europe that's doing kind of the same thing. Anyways, what people do in not China, what people do in North Korea is they're finding brokers who are willing to smuggle people out. But
Coyotes.
it's becoming too expensive now because at first it was like $4,000, which is like 2 years' pay for a North Korean, and then it went up to 8, and then it went up to 16, and now it's too much. It's too much for people to pay. So people are trying to figure out a way to get themselves out. Well, Kim Jong-un is now he's put disruptor machines for any sort of cellular device at the northern border so people can't communicate. He's also increased his guards at the northern borders. So it's becoming extremely difficult for people to leave. There was a good trend from the 1990s all the way up to 2009. There was a huge spike in people leaving, exfilling North Korea. There was a huge spike. And then 2 years after 2009, 2011 came around, Kim Jong-un took power, and he wiped that away. He stopped people from leaving. He went super hard on anyone that even had the legal right to leave the country. He was holding everyone back. Now COVID hits. He's afraid. He would never tell you that. All of them were afraid because their population malnourished. No one's really physically fit there. No one's capable of fighting off disease. What he wants is self-isolation. What he got was an excuse. Closes his borders. No one's allowed in or out. Prisoners are stuck out of country, and he gets to keep everyone in his country safe. Now, here's the thing that we don't know, because there's a lot that you can't trust about North Korea.
No, you don't say.
We don't know how many people actually died in North Korea because of COVID. They claim only 74 deaths. They
Right.
personally claim only 74 deaths due to COVID. They were, however, the first country to close their borders during the COVID pandemic, which was not that bad of an idea. However, we could be talking about thousands of people dying because they simply, if there was even one person, they've already confirmed there was somebody, 74 deaths. 74 deaths. It's really hard to believe that with a population that is 40% malnourished, didn't take more
It
hits than
stopped
that.
at 74.
We're talking that there could have been thousands of people that just died.
Weren't they the ones that were like welding people into their apartment? Or was that
That
China?
was China.
China was doing that. Okay.
So, we don't know how many people are currently alive in North Korea. We are not sure.
Again,
I
as a member of the
ask him.
No. There is jobs that I do, but we should not use proper nouns.
hypothetically, do you think the Oregon National Guard could take North Korea? Like if we-
Specifically Oregon?
specifically Oregon. Do you think the Oregon National Guard, just let's say we mobilize the entirety of the Oregon National Guard to do a coup d'état in North Korea?
Totally agree
Do
with
we
you
think-
on
I'm-
that, David.
I'm just assuming you picked Oregon because it happens to be one of the closer states to North Korea.
Yes. I was considering Washington National Guard, but I've heard something about Washington National Guard that makes this less of a fair fight. So do you think that Oregon National Guard, and I'm talking like every single person, corner to corner of the state, from the lowliest private to the highest general,
We don't have the logistics to wage war on their soil.
you don't think
As Oregon State, no.
you don't, you
We
don't
can
think
probably
Oregon-
do some fancy air work, but we don't have the type of naval power
well,
or
I
the
mean,
logistics to move our things from our port to their port to
the United
wage a
States
war.
Navy would cart you there, but you're getting no fire assistance from the United States Navy. You're getting the United States Navy just for transport. But
Because
any sort
South
of
Korea
fighting will be
does,
done.
not South Korea, North Korea does have a navy, and if we don't get support from our navy and they're just trucking us over there, I don't know how that's going to work out if we don't get support from the vehicle that's taking us there, and they have a navy and they're shooting us in the meantime.
I mean, for all you know, you could be transported to South Korea and then move to the parallel.
They got. It would be
Or you
hard
could
to.
flank around and hit them from another area. I'm just saying, do you think that Oregon's National Guard could successfully pull off a coup against Kim Jong Un?
Do you think Oregon National Guard could pull off a coup against Kim Jong-un?
Yes.
Here's where we get banned.
I don't know is going to be my answer, because I'm not too terribly familiar with the type of infrastructure that their military has. I know they have a navy. They parade around all the time. They claim to have nuclear weapons or missiles and whatnot, but their showings are kind of laughable. Like
Apparently-
I said, it's unknown how many people are actually alive in North Korea right now, so it could be one of those things where, like, we're ready, and then we come in and they're like, where's everyone?
According to David, Oregon does have 2 brigades. He thinks that Oregon National Guard could pull out the W against.
It depends on where we fight, because it's too much of a logistical challenge for Oregon to just move its parts over there without something else outside helping us.
South Korea.
Okay, you get Navy help. You get naval help from South Korea. The United States is not dedicating any of its naval forces. However, we will charge over to South Korea, and you will have to. The Oregon National Guard will coordinate with South Korean forces, specifically their Navy, for that. You'll finally give not South Korea what it's wanted for 60 years, the chance to kill North Korea once and for all.
I do think that if we had the opportunity to if we had to do a breaching maneuver into North Korea, we obviously wouldn't pick the 17-mile long wall
Agreed.
between North Korea and South Korea, because that's hitting them where they're the thickest.
Agreed.
So we would
You'd probably
have to
flank around through
we
another
would
country.
have to find somewhere on their side of the peninsula that they're not logistically capable to
Mhm.
readily deploying troops to,
Yeah.
and then make landfall there,
Agreed.
and then do that whole American thing called the shock and awe, where we do a breaching maneuver and because a breaching maneuver is basically you take your biggest gun,
Mm-hmm.
you point it all at the same spot, you blow a hole in that spot, and then you flood it with everything you got. And
That does you do. Sorry.
that would probably be the most messy and casualty-inducing moment in the fight between us, but then after the breach, we would probably take them.
especially considering the fact Oregon National Guard does have tankers, and
We don't have tankers.
You did at one point, at least. My uncle was a tanker.
I think he was asking the question.
You do
I-
have. You guys do have.
It is
tankers.
It is. All right, out with it. Oregon does have tankers.
It's a known fact. I mean, David also posted something here. He said for a coup specifically, we'd probably want to use Washington since they have SF, and I knew that. That's why I specifically put Washington out, because the moment you introduce American SF into the thing, it becomes a done deal. Our SF is too big of a game changer that, even Washington Guard SF is still SF, and
It's
you introduce that
if we
into
take
North Korea,
on
it's
North
over.
Korea, it's going to be more of a naval fight than it's going to be a land fight.
We're gonna have to make.
We
landfall
would
at some point,
probably
though.
be able to just wield the Navy like a hammer and force North Korea to surrender.
Well,
Why-
that's the whole
why
point.
not,
Is I'm trying to give us not what we would use, but this hypothetical scenario. We just Oregon.
What?
If we were to go defeat North Korea, we wouldn't try to do it through a land-based a land-based.
I'm aware what we wouldn't do, but the whole crux of this specific hypothetical is to see if you think we could do it with these limited resources. I know we wouldn't do it, but that's the whole point of the thing: is do you think we could?
Is it in the realm of possibilities?
It is possible.
Yeah,
It is possible.
And logistically, Oregon had that big mobilization drill a few years ago to practice rapid deployment. Oregon has the experience. So I think if you split it up, if you do an attack on 2 fronts for it, which will logistically speaking, it'll take a little longer to get that way. But with their limited resources, isolated, malnourished, all that, and then attacking them through a Navy and land-based attack, you're going to split them up and be able to take them pretty easy. And you don't need a lot of guys in order to do that.
And then realistically, this has to happen on their soil because they can't wage war over here.
Oh no,
Exact-
that's what I was saying. That's why I asked. Do you think we could invade and occupy and do a coup and pull off a successful coup? Successful regime change in North Korea.
Not only
Shoot,
do
I
we
think
have
we
more
could do-
manpower, and I don't even need to speculate how many people are alive in North Korea. We already have more manpower. We
We have
have
more
better
manpower.
technology.
Significantly. That's why I brought up the tankers. You pit the Abrams against anything that North Korea has. It's a done fight. It's
I
just
saw
one
I saw
Abrams.
But
3 of
here's the
those.
thing: if I'm landing Abrams in North Korea, I've pretty much won by that point.
Ex-
If I'm able to land an Abrams in your house, I think I've already won
Or,
by that
are we
point.
gonna A-team this Abrams down?
No.
Is that what's gonna go on?
I was thinking we.
Are we
Yeah,
gonna-
like,
are
if
we
I
gonna
got to the point
blast
where
that
I'm able
thing?
to field an Abrams on their soil, I think I've pretty much won this by now.
That's why I brought up the South Korean Navy and figured we could use South Korean Navy to, get Abrams where we needed to go.
So, like, here's the thing about modern warfare. No pun
Call of
intended.
Duty, sorry.
Is that it really is about battery to battery warfare. Why risk lives when you can just get your biggest guns and shoot several miles away?
Not to mention Oregon already is ridiculous.
So-
I've heard of some of the Oregon artillery competitions of what they could. The modern artillery piece and what it can do is outrageous.
We would
Shoot, we could probably win just on the drone program alone.
we would batter them. We would batter them without sacrificing lives. And by the time they wave the white flag, we would be like, all right, cool, because step 2 was tanks, and then we would just do that to scare them.
We would literally roll
Because
Abrams down the main street in
Tanks are
Pyongyang
an
just to make a
occupying
point.
force. Tanks are supposed to be a sweeping force that comes through and defeats things and then gets out of there. You don't occupy with tanks.
David, I love it.
David says also their navy can't be that great. You can throw a rock further than their nukes can fly.
It's one of those things where like they have like that pump Nerf thing where you step on the little spring thing and it makes the Nerf toy go through the air.
I think they're
But like,
developing
if
that
I
right
have
now.
to give you, okay, so I'm gonna answer your question in 2 ways. The first one is I think that if we honestly were to try and take out North Korea, we would do it through an assault of batteries
Agreed.
constantly, mostly through naval fleets, and then we would wait till they surrender, and we probably wouldn't field a single person on their soil until they like did some way of communicating, like please stop. But if I
Please stop. Please stop.
yeah.
But in order to answer your question, would Oregon defeat North Korea? I think we have more people. I think we have better technology. We may only have 2 brigades in the National Guard, and like the one that I happen to be in is kind of questionable status when it comes to how it falls under these 2 brigades. But what we represent is not necessarily a type of fighting force that could move itself across large bodies of water, and that's the biggest problem. If we get help doing that and we make landfall and we do this breaching maneuver that I'm talking about, that would probably be like the one big moment. It'd be like there's this huge chaotic moment, this breaching thing where
It would be like a
Boom!
replica
it
of
was,
D-Day
like
almost.
let me liken it to this. The analogy would be this: we would be the guys kicking in the door, and that one flash point where the door gets kicked in is where everything's going to go crazy.
Yeah.
But then it's going to go quiet, and then that'll be it. That'll be it. That'll decide everything. How that flash point goes down is going to decide everything, and odds are we will win the flash point,
Yeah.
and then they will surrender afterwards.
Especially if we can get our Abrams to make landfall, it's over. You get Abrams on their soil.
Oftentimes, the
it's
first
over.
move in large-scale conflict will decide a battle. Now, I'm not talking like World War II or the Eastern Theater,
No,
things
I was
like
actually
that.
make a reference
But
to
when
D-Day,
we're
'cause the
talking
momentum we
about
got from
just a
D-Day carried
country
us
like
in.
North Korea versus 2 brigades from Oregon, that initial breaching maneuver is going to decide everything. And the odds are is that Oregon will win that flashpoint.
I agree. I just wanted your opinion on it.
Because from there, it can go a ton of different directions. That's why it's the flashpoint. There's a ton of different directions that this could go. But the odds are is that we will come out on top in that flashpoint.
I wholeheartly agree. I just wanted your opinion on it.
They better pray to whoever they pray to that we do not make landfall.
We get boots on their soil, it's over.
It is. If we can field our war machines on their soil, there's very little they could do.
God help you if you give the American defense industry a viable.
And this is
near-peer
not
target.
even. This is without us using artillery, because there's no point in using if we field artillery on their soil. What are we doing?
We're
What's
paving.
happening?
We're making we're paving a road for our Abrams to roll over.
Like, I already said we would have won if we started fielding tanks on their soil, but if we're bringing in artillery, which would not be the first thing you bring into a breach
No.
point, you're going to make the breach with the artillery. But if I start fielding artillery on your soil, it's like I'm making fun of you.
I mean,
like, I'm bringing my big guns onto your home turf.
the United States military does have a history of like
Dude, the
epically winning
United
the point
States
of making fun
military
of them. Like
trolls. Like that's all they do. Look at the kind of stuff that we've done in the past. What was that? The USS Texas?
not just
that-
U.S. I was
that
going to reference
flooded
that time we
half
stole a
of
German
its-
submarine. And we sent 8 guys on that submarine, steal it, and
remember
one of them
this.
was a photographer.
We
just to
stole.
fix or it didn't happen.
Yeah, we stole a submarine. It was so great. It wasn't just stealing the submarine. They tried to sink their own submarine.
We sent
We
8
got on there, fixed
Defused
the
the scuttling
sub- yeah.
charges and fixed the submarine.
fixed the submarine, took pictures, and then parked it in Chicago.
That was after the war.
How do you park it in Chicago?
We,
That's an
they
inland
shipped it
city.
over.
Like they
Overland.
picked it up and put it over there.
Yeah, the only
It's still
How?
there. It's
I-
still
I-
in Chicago.
I believe it's a Class D U-boat. The only Class D German U-boat in existence is ours. It's in Chicago.
What does David think? David, what was your, or at
He-
least what do you think of what I said?
We've done irregular warfare for so long.
Dude,
yes,
yeah.
that is like the best way to put that. Irregular warfare. I'm adopting this now.
I mean, yeah, we've done irregular asymmetric
He
warfare
thinks
for-
that we can take North Korea.
Yeah, I wanted to what his thoughts were of my assessment.
Yeah, what are your thoughts of? Oh, wait, there's another one too. Let's see, that's actually a good point to bring up. The Army as a whole is out of practice performing LESCO. We just started implementing those tactics very recently.
LSCL.
Yeah.
Remind me, Kenny?
I'm not sure what that is off the top of my head.
Look it up. Google. Come on, clickety clacks. You're the
Why
one
are,
who
you,
looks
why are
at-
you asking the diversity hire to do things?
Because she actually volunteered. It's LSCO is the thing.
Someone talk to Phil Dead Space.
Talking to fill dead space.
Talking to fill dead
That's-
space.
Large scale combat operations.
There you go.
We are, but at the same time, we're kind of old hat at it, so I feel like it wouldn't be too difficult. for us
But
to
it's
get
not
it.
something. That's why I brought up modern warfare is more battery to battery warfare nowadays.
Yeah.
It's more like who has the technology to send the most heat down range from the safest distance or the biggest bunker. Well, not necessarily the biggest bunker because we don't practice static warfare too much anymore. It's about who could hit you from farther and who can move better. And then the information war is huge. Can I locate you and
Oh,
figure out where you are before you can figure out where I
our
am?
intelligence abilities make North Korea look
And-
pathetic.
Irregular warfare.
It's,
I can't get over that.
And no matter how good we are as a world power, especially in the military, there's always something to be said about a home field advantage. If we're coming to them, the defender always has an advantage in reality. No matter what military conflict, now it's not going to I'm not concerned by a home field advantage. I'm not concerned that they're the defenders of this conflict. But it is an advantage in and of itself. When it comes to information, they are going to know the land better than we do. Now, it's not going to take us too long to figure out what it's like out there. The amount of satellite power that we have access to will change things rapidly and in a hurry. And our troops' ability to understand and maneuver across any sort of land is almost unparalleled. But like I said, if we're fielding troops on their soil and we start landing Abrams or Strikers
As
or war machines of that capacity, we've pretty much already won.
As far as like understanding like the terrain and the land and stuff there, it actually wouldn't be that hard because we've had our military in the area for I'm going to say it's more than this, but at the very least 20 years. Because one of my brother's stations was in South Korea, right there. He drove the border.
Here's how America has been doing a lot of conflicts as of late is that they won't necessarily be the frontal force in someone's conflict. They will be like, hey, we'll support you, but you got to be the people to go in there and actually fight the fight.
Yeah.
So we will logistically support them. We will do flanking maneuvers to make sure people stay within lanes of fire, but we almost never are the breaching force ourselves. So if we're truly talking about taking down North Korea, it'd probably be in support of South Korea doing it.
Yeah.
And we would support South Korea being the ones that are the breaching force. We would help with our navy, which would be like amazing.
We have the first and second best navies on the planet. You know,
If-
our fleet of museum ships is better than what half the people have out there.
So
anyways.
just the amount of battery support that we can give from several miles off the coast, it would be a tremendous thing for South Korea. What we'd be aiding them in is them breaching that 17-mile wall and taking North Korea.
we could reduce that wall to rubble in 20 minutes with the right equipment.
We could reduce a lot of things to rubble, but here's the thing that we can support by hitting their war machines, probably easily subduing their navy, but we're not about to just bomb civilian areas.
Why not? We've done it before.
Put your nose in the corner.
No, no,
Put your
no,
nose in the
no.
corner. You're not allowed in the war room anymore.
Why? Because
You're grounded. We're not about to bombard their city. These people are trapped there too. We're not about to take out civilians. They don't want to be a part of this any more than really we do.
Agreed. Okay, now I got another one for you.
Last one, and then I'm pushing the conversation on.
So, moving on from North Korea to another foe of ours in the world. Much bigger, much more present foe. They're currently occupied with another place, but they were our main concern for many years.
Canada.
I think we could take out the maple syrup drinkers.
Oh, we would look at them and they'd be like, "Yep, no, we're good. We're good. We don't want it." If we completely pulled ourselves back in,
With
full
their
might of
hockey
America,
sticks.
we stopped supporting other operations. We told Ukraine to stand down, get out of our way. So there's no help from Ukraine aside from maybe like passive, like civilian help and like passive supply help. Beyond that, do you think America could win a head-to-head fight with Russia with Ukraine as the battleground? Like if we imported our guys to Ukraine and then fought Russia through there, that way it's a neutral battleground, even though it was part of the Soviet Union.
That would take so long.
Agreed, but do you, and assuming that we both agree MAD is on the table and we are not using nukes.
If both sides, all of America, and by America I mean the United States, if all of the United States and then all of Russia funneled everything they had through the space that is Ukraine, it's like two
that would
bodies
be-
of
that'd be-
water going through like a little mouse hole.
That would
trying to
definitely
fight.
be dead man's land in
That
World
would-
War II.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No,
that'd
World
be.
War One.
Yeah, I'm sorry, World War
Okay,
One.
fine.
That'd be dead man's
we'll
land.
include Belarus and Poland in there as well.
I would love to destroy Belarus.
Let's assume that.
Whoa!
Okay, so let's assume.
Hold
that,
up! No! We're not gonna gloss over that. Kenny went dark for a second.
Belarus has got some
Belarus
problems.
sucks. We can destroy Belarus. And no
Belarus.
problems.
This isn't the first
Wait.
time I've talked about Belarus on this podcast.
Is it? Because
Nope. We've talked about Belarus before.
that's right. Because they're the bottom country.
Belarus is the bottom to Russia.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, if we funnel the guys from Poland.
they're Russia's
Ukraine-
bootlickers.
There's a lot of people that need to be liberated from Belarus. The only 21st century dictator that is occupying their country, and I'm not, and not to be confused with like North Korea and Kim Jong Un and whatnot, because he's still very much a dictator. But this is like a 21st century government recognized, like within the European Union dictator,
Mhm.
Belarus.
So do you? But genuinely, those three countries, Poland, Ukraine, and Belarus, do you think
Poland, that's pretty deep.
all of America versus all of Russia, just done a once and for all, but no nukes because we both agree it's going to end bad for the world, and even other countries. Then, if we use nukes, other countries like the UK and China will get involved. It's like, no, stop it, no nukes. Genuinely, just pure conflict. America versus Russia, once and for all. Who do you think takes it?
They got some pretty good artillery. They got pretty good artillery, and they've up-armored the roof of their tanks because our mortars.
Dad wants to know if there's.
uh,
Dad wants to know if there's boots on the ground.
so it would be pretty difficult in battery-to-battery warfare.
Because nobody can hear him, Dad thinks we'll lose.
Oh, that's kind of a rough estimate.
Wait for what? I zoned out.
Russia versus the United States.
You know,
we have several brigades, especially ones stationed up in Alaska that can handle that no problem. We have people already acclimated to that weather. This isn't a newfound thing. This isn't a new front that we're not prepared for.
This is
Every
something we
every
spent
soldier
almost,
is fielded with enough gear to survive whatever climate they're being taken to.
this is something we spent almost 80 years at this point
When we
preparing
go
for.
to one of the training grounds that we go to, we call it NTC, National Training Center, is positioned in Death Valley, California, to prepare deploying units for the harsh conditions of the Middle East. Same thing can be done for Russia.
I
We
agree,
can
could
train
do
people too easily in
Wisconsin,
U.S. government-owned
Alaska, Minnesota.
places
Well, and
in
it's-
Alaska that prepare us for this.
And it's easier to prepare a soldier for a cold, harsh weather environment than it is a heat environment, because you can layer up. As a matter of fact, they do that in the military all the time. They layer people up just
Also,
naturally.
the
Like, you
scenario
can't-
given to me was that we're fighting in Belarus,
Poland.
Ukraine, and Poland.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're not
Eventually
dealing
we're
with
gonna
the
push-
same sheer cold as Russia.
Eventually, at one point, though, depending on how the war would go, we would end up in Russia, beating them back to take Moscow and win.
I would say that the main advantage that Russia has is their intimate knowledge of the area.
Agreed.
That
I mean,
would be
that's always going to be an advantage. But
That
just
would-
like in North Korea, I don't know if it's that much of an advantage against the sheer amount of intelligence that we can bring to bear on any battlefield in the world.
I'm just saying, like I said, the intimate knowledge thereof. But even that, I don't think Russia has it, because kind of like what we do at our job right now. There's a difference between when our country fights something and when other countries tend to fight something. We're remembering the purpose or the process. We're fighting for, they're fighting because.
I will say, however, we are all. I mean, I was going to make a whole point about how Russia's conscripts in Ukraine prove this. But at the same time, we are also facing a recruiting crisis. But I feel like with our, our media's and our politicians' ability to lie to people, we would be able to spin the modern public towards we got to beat Russia once and for all. I feel like we could lie to ourselves and give ourselves the rah America if we really put our back. If the media, Hollywood, and the politicians really put their backs into it.
It is, because that's what happened in World War II too, and
Did-
it's the same thing happened with 9/11. It is scary the amount of force that we can bring to bear as a country, because when we put our whole country behind it, we can really change history. That's what happened in World War II. When we entered in the battle, we changed the outcome of the world, and it was us. We did that. That was the United States bringing the world to its knees.
David says that Russia army has no chance. They've got no NCO corps.
That's a joke. I get where he's coming from. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, he's not wrong. So because it's the backbone of the army. The scenario that you
Kenny got triggered.
described, though, is like the best case scenario for Russia, though, because Russia,
I know.
to Russia's credit, they do have longer range artillery than us.
Yeah.
And like I said, their tanks are up armored on the roofs more so than ours because they're used to being dunked on.
Have you heard, however, that the U.S. Army is actually going to be upgrading Abrams for near-peer conflict? Since we're moving away from asymmetrical. The U.S. Army is actually taking out a loan to up armor Abrams and improve them for near-peer. So this could be Abrams as of now could be a very different Abrams in 2 years.
This is going to be one of those things where I think it's going to come down to this. There is a possibility.
Oh, is that what she was doing?
If we're fielding tanks and whatever through the countries of Poland, Belarus, and Ukraine, the first thing that we're going to want to do is just bomb each other with our artillery. It won't be a static warfare. It's going to be things where we're trying to hide from each other. It's going to be a war of information, so you can locate the other person, drop the meanest, heaviest, ugliest thing on top of the other guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then after that, And if neither side wins that initial conflict, it's going to be who can sustain their side longer. And we definitely can sustain our side much longer than than Russia.
Especially because in this hypothetical thing, we are getting assistance from Poland and Ukraine for supply lines and such. Belarus, where we get no people in Belarus, you're on your own, boys. Good luck. Considering the fact that Ukraine and Poland are both very staunch allies of us, we will get lots of help from Polish via supplies, supply lines, stuff like that.
Now, and then here's another thing: is in the moral fight, not necessarily, I shouldn't say the moral fight, but the in terms of which troops would get routed first. Just like what's happening with Ukraine, I think the Russians would lose their moral standing with this war before the United States does.
Agreed.
So not only logistically would we last longer than them, but we would also, on a motivational front, last longer than them as well.
We can rah a lot better than they can. We can rah go America a lot better than Russia can.
No, they're getting a big leg up in the fact that they're not having to deal with our Navy, because this is going to be a completely interlocked continental war.
This is complete and that's the whole thing. Is I know Russia has a Navy, but the moment you bring the United States Navy into it, it's almost a
Russia doesn't make good choices with its troop movements.
No, they don't.
Like, you remember when they did that convoy on the highway with all of their war machines going to Ukraine?
Yeah.
I saw a meme, and I think you all appreciate this. I saw a meme where it showed that convoy, and there was an A-10 Warhawk that was like breathing heavy.
Yeah. Let me at him.
And it showed the A-10 Warhawk. It said heavy breathing, and then the next line was, "I'd hit that."
Yeah. Cue, all of Afghanistan just.
So I don't think Russia does mass troop movement well enough to protect themselves from counter battery operations. We would be a lot better at it. They may shoot farther than us, but I don't think they can locate us as well. But also, they move, so their movements are so easy to detect and pick up on.
Mm-hmm.
And who honestly in modern day warfare moves all of their vehicles in a straight line like that?
Russia does, apparently.
Like, I get it, because like it's hard to move vehicles, and if there's a road, then it makes it easier to move things from point A to point B, because roads, that's what they're designed for. But when you're in open conflict in country and all of your war machines are in a line like that, that's so beautiful.
Okay, but here's one X factor we haven't discussed yet. The United States Special Operations versus Russia Special Operations. That's really that's pitting that's finally giving the Green Berets a chance to do what they were made to do in the beginning, something they've been wanting to do for their entire existence.
It depends. Like, there might be those would be. I doubt those would be fought on the war front, though. Those would be done in strategic locations where they feel like they need to have control of a certain position.
Agreed.
In order to have the advantage. But again, I think that'll come down to metal, and America is going to have more ambition in this fight than them. Yeah, they're like, cool, we finally get to do something. We're the Spetsnaz. Genuinely good folk in terms of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, like, what's the point?
They're good,
Kind of like
but
how
we're
Vietnam
better.
won the war in our streets.
Mhm.
We're going to win the war in their streets.
Agreed. But I'm trying to make the point of their special forces are good. Ours are significantly better, though. Like,
Our training is significantly better. They're not pushovers, though.
I by no means think they're pushovers.
I think
They
the
may be
common is a
sevens.
pushover. I think
We're
the common
nines.
Person is a pushover. I think our average troop is vastly superior to their average troop.
agreed.
It's not the same with their special forces versus ours.
I don't know. I still think our special forces are.
I'm not saying that we would lose, but I don't think the difference between our special forces is as vast as our average troop versus their average troop.
I agree. It's not as vast. I still think it is a decently vast. Like, I'd say their average troop is a 3. Ours is a 6. Their special forces is a 7. I'd give ours a 9. Like, we are better in so many ways. Just
Has
tech,
David said
training,
anything?
weapons.
I value his opinion on such subjects. He knows a little bit more about this stuff than I do.
He hasn't said anything since, denoting the Russians' lack of NCOs.
He's probably in a dead zone at this point.
All right. Well, he's probably trying to say things, and he's like, "Why won't they get my message?"
He'd be going through Lad Canyon right about now.
Well, Tony, you had something you wanted to push us towards now that we've pretty much
War
bolstered
games out.
America's feelings about us in conflict with other things. If there was somebody that we were going to struggle with, it'd be China.
And that's probably most likely what's going to happen. At some
Yeah, but
point.
China's pissing everybody off, so we wouldn't be fighting that war
So-
alone.
Agreed. No, we would. That would definitely not be only us.
Oh, the Yellow Sea is going rampant. If World War III was going to start, it would start in the South China Sea.
Did we ever talk about the Sound of Freedom?
I don't think we have on the podcast.
We meant to, but we kept doing
We have
D&D.
watched it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, Sound of Freedom was a really good movie. When it comes out, I highly recommend everyone watch that.
It was one of the most emotionally impactful movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I cannot recommend it enough.
He
I-
switched genders.
I-
That's how much it hurt him.
Ooh. Ooh, no, don't say it. Don't say it. I will cancel you right now.
Like the Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, they tried to cancel that, like, so bad. So hard.
It's one of those things where it's difficult to try and understand why people are against it.
It's not that difficult.
Because Hollywood is filled with pedophiles.
Then there it is.
Taylor, you got something to say?
So, actually, I did. What I was showing Ian was pictures. Dusty wanted to go do something really, really bad while we were in Boise last weekend. We went to the Warhog Air Museum in Boise while we were there.
Okay, cool.
Dusty
ancient
picked-
technology right
Dusty picked the day that they were doing flights and a big event.
there. Oh, well, that's
So
neat.
we
That's
got to see a
convenient.
bunch of the planes fly. Some of them that actually, fought and saw battle. He got to watch fly, which he thought was really
Back
cool.
long time ago.
Long time ago, yeah. And that's what I was showing Ian was pictures that we took
Yeah.
while we were there. Where? No, this one's in Boise. Yeah, no. So Dusty was really excited to go and see that. And then while we were there, I didn't
we
get
got
to
plenty of
listen
time.
to the presentation because I was chasing around a screaming 2-year-old. But Dusty got to listen to quite a bit of it. They had somebody there, and I can't tell you where he was, but he was showing pictures of someplace that they had to land planes on this ice shelf and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and all these pictures. And some of the planes that he was talking about, and that were there, were flying that day. So he was really excited to go see those and stuff. So Tony is going to try to get those pictures into next week's
Oh,
overlay.
well, that's neat. You're going to plan on putting those pictures up, Tony?
Yeah. As soon as I figure out how to do that, you can actually do that in OBS, and David sent me a link to learn how to do that. He wanted me to be able to do that for Dungeons and Dimwits rather than I have like a 5-minute video of just a picture.
Hey guys, real quick, can I talk
that
about
I
something
put on repeat.
really cute that just happened?
Really cute.
Cute, yes.
Did you just use the term cute?
I said cute.
He did.
Mm.
It's about my nephew.
Are you ill?
No, I love my nephew.
Okay, continue.
My 3-year-old nephew. He is.
Are you from Hollywood?
I swear to God, I'm gonna hit you. Don't make jokes like that about my niece and nephew.
What?
It's a 3-year-old boy. He makes uncomfortable comments.
Anyways,
Way to go, Tony. I'm going
Hang
to
up
turn
on
my
him.
phone on silent now because I'm making fun of you for it.
Answer.
anyways, my nephew is now getting into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Because of the movie in theaters?
No,
Okay, thank God.
no, because the one thing his dad did that I will agree with is that he showed him the original cartoons and the original '90s movies.
Yeah.
And now I getting him stuff for his birthday. Talking to him on the phone the other day because he was over at my mom's, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing? What do you want for your birthday?" And he's like, "I want Ninja Turtles." I'm like, Ninja Turtles were a big part of my childhood. I'm like, "Oh my God, child, you are yes."
You are, yes.
I'm gonna have so much fun. So, I am getting ready to spoil this child rotten with Ninja Turtle stuff. I have.
Who's his favorite turtle?
He doesn't have one. He loves them all equally.
Oh,
But
what?
he's also a little young to where he can't quite differentiate them yet.
Okay. Who's your favorite?
It is a hearty tie between Leo and Raph for different reasons.
Leo and Raph. Huh?
Both like deep, like aesthetic and character, but also like deep emotional choices. I relate to them both on different levels for different things.
This makes me want to watch the 90s movies again.
Same, but I have ordered him really nice each of the 4 turtles, an action figure for each of them, and one of the old battle shell cars for his birthday. I am going to ruin this child for like his parents will hate me more than they already do.
Daggone.
Like I am like Ninja Turtles was like one of my big things as a kid, and so the fact that my nephew's now
The
getting into
only
it,
thing
I
he
am
cares about more than Ninja Turtles? I can't.
You were
freaking
going
think.
somewhere with
I
that?
was, and then somebody spoke.
Are you talking about me or your dad?
Indiana Jones is the only thing that he loves
No,
more
Ninja
than
Turtles
Ninja
are
Turtles.
actually 4th on my list of things for me as a kid. Indiana Jones was number 1. You were correct, but
Huh.
no, I am just so excited that like it's like the next generation's getting into it. It's like, yes, I'm very excited to share things with him in the future when he's older, so he can like get it. So that just popped up my phone. I ordered them, sent them to my parents' house. That way, when they have the birthday party there, he'll have his presents there. So my mom just texted me, let me know that, and it reminded me all that, and I was like very happy. I was like, I want to brag on my nephew a little bit. He's getting Ninja Turtles. Heck yeah.
Ninja Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles in a half shell.
I'm not gonna be over in that neck of the woods for a while. Sorry, Tony.
1, we go by the code of the martial arts.
try to ruin my
2,
nephew's relationship
we
with
never
me,
fight
Tony.
unless someone
Just
else
because I forced you to
starts.
support Ezra Miller
3,
doesn't mean anything.
we always stick
Doesn't
together
mean you
no
get to ruin
matter
my relationship with my
what.
nephew,
4,
Tony.
we owe ourselves now. It's time to kick butt.
That is an absolute god tier show.
I loved it. Say what? What? Have you not heard that? That was the opening to the show.
There's a Ninja Turtles cartoon back in the day. That's the.
He's talking about the cartoon, not the actual movies. He thought you were trying to reference the movies, and he didn't understand where that was coming from.
Oh.
So he was
I've got
asking
you.
what was
Go
wrong with
Ninja,
you.
Go Ninja. Power. Oh, classic. Kenny, who's your favorite turtle?
It depends on the mood I'm in.
Oh, right now.
Because, like,
If you had
I
to-
relate to Mikey,
I feel that.
I was
I
gonna
can
say.
see that.
I was gonna say Mikey.
but my favorite is Donatello.
And see, I
Also, I can see that.
I look at the 4 of us, and I can actually attribute a turtle to each of us based on our personalities and how we work in this thing. I see you very much as a Leonardo in personality. You're a very level-headed, courageous leader. I see that. Tony is very much our Donatello. Just look at what he's doing right now.
By no choice.
I am slightly offended, but also I see what you're saying.
She's Michelangelo. There is no question.
I'm Mikey.
And so you leave yourself with Raph.
Who else has the anger issues to match?
Not wrong.
I mean, you haven't seen me.
Yes,
at
Dad, you
work
are
lately.
Splinter.
You haven't seen me at work lately
You're
either.
Splinter.
You don't have anyone at your work. You sit
Or Casey
alone
Jones.
in
I
the
almost-
shed.
Yeah.
Wait, this isn't going quite. I
Or
almost
April
shot
O'Neil,
someone a few
I-
weeks ago.
you
You want to
could
talk to me
compare-
about that?
Take Casey Jones into the rap.
Okay, you're Casey Jones then.
But tell me it doesn't start. Tell me if you look at it from a purely like third person objective standpoint. Tell me it doesn't work a little bit.
I
mean, you could potentially switch you and Tony, but like me and Taylor are on point as it gets.
I get that. I understand. I grew up liking Donatello the most just because I like purple.
I grew up
Uh,
liking Raphael.
I also like the
Not gonna
bow
lie.
staff the most as all the weapons.
Understandable.
And then I didn't much when I was growing up and I first saw Raph.
David, you are definitely Splinter.
David is
David is the
definitely
rat.
Splinter.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Shredder.
No, that's
He
Gabe.
said, "So am I Shredder or Splinter?" Now you are definitely Splinter. No, because he's Splinter trolls. Like he's highly capable, but he also trolls. He is a god tier troller.
So what does that make Gabe?
What is that? He's
He's the
he's either
He's a.
Dr. Baxter Stockman.
No, he's one of those like that warthog or that rhino
He's
dude.
Bebop or Rocksteady.
Bebop or Rocksteady. I was thinking Krang. Krang the
He's
Brain.
not smart enough to be Krang.
He's pretty smart. He's just not.
Motivated.
Well,
No, he's pretty focused.
Yeah.
He's more focused than he is smart.
I hate that that's true, but yeah.
Maybe Shredder then? Question mark.
No, because
More
he's not
focused than
serious enough.
intelligent?
He's not serious enough to be Shredder.
Touche.
There is no one that is not. That fits Gabe really well in the Ninja Turtle mythos.
Maybe we could also say
Maybe
Mikey.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
yeah.
I mean, I understand that Mikey's occupied,
makes
but
her
we
April,
could say
then.
Michelangelo. We could
So,
make her
like-
April O'Neil.
So
That tracks.
Mikey,
Token women.
Mikey is actually really intelligent and really focused when he has to be.
Yeah.
The problem is that as the youngest of the four brothers,
Hmm.
he's never actually had to be in that position. In the comic book series, The Last Ronin,
Yeah.
he actually takes on all of the roles of the other brothers because he's the last turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Even Splinter's gone.
Yeah.
yeah. So I think
Rip the rat.
I think that's actually an honest assessment there.
So I guess that's your move studios Ninja Turtle characters, guys. See, my thing is, when I started out with Ninja Turtles, I loved Leo. I was a Leo fan.
Because
through
they
and
make him perfect.
Agreed.
He's supposed to be the perfect
Then I
ninja.
matured a bit, and right around the release of the later 2000s cartoon that you love, because I grew up first on the original cartoon, the one before the one you
Yeah,
like.
yeah, I
I
know
grew
what
up on
you're
that
talking
one. Then around the time that I watched that one, and remember that one movie that came out in like 2008, just that one Turtles movie, where
TMNT.
yeah, we're TMNT.
Yeah.
I love that movie. It is probably my favorite piece of Turtles media. I became a really big Raph fan, and I was Raph all the way. And now that I've kind of matured and getting a bit of perspective, I see the appeal in both, and I like them both a lot. I don't dislike Mikey and Donnie; they just don't appeal to me as much because I don't see myself in them as much as I see myself in Raph and Leo.
I was a huge fan of Mikey when I was a kid. I really liked Michelangelo's character. I liked his weapons. I liked everything about him. As I got older, I found myself relating more to Raph.
I can see the relation to Raph, but I always like the aesthetic of Donatello because they treat Donatello like a plot tool. Like, hey guys, we need to go fight the Subterraneans. Cool, Donatello built a tank that can survive molten lava and fight things. Like,
Hey, Donatello,
I
here.
get it. He's probably not the most proficient fighter amongst them
is
because
the
that's
weakest.
an argument between. He's not necessarily the weakest.
David agrees with you. Donatello's the best. Also, he says now do Naruto characters.
But
I know nothing about
it's
Naruto.
difficult to say like, oh, as like if they were just sparring, sure, Donatello would lose to like Raph or Leonardo. But like if we were to bring to full bear the absolute might of character that Donatello could be, like he's fighting him in a mech suit. He's
Yeah.
like self-automated tanks are coming in to support him.
Donnie
Like,
gets a
he's
little broken.
dunking on the other characters because they use him to do absurd things in the shows. The amount of things that he's created and that they were able to survive is bonkers.
Hey, Donnie, here's a pizza box, a broken radio,
Donnie-
and half a
Dumb.
pizza slice.
Donnie is the turtle
Go do
version of
something.
MacGyver is what he
Yeah,
is.
well, he
Donnie
is.
comes back,
It's like,
hey guys, I made a thermonuclear warhead.
like Stewie Griffin from that Guy Family show.
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of absurd things that he can build just for the story, it's what Donnie does. Like he's not the most proficient fighter, but that's because he's a genius.
He doesn't need to be the most proficient fighter, if we're going to be honest.
Well, and that's why his weapons.
But he's already a proficient fighter. He's not the most proficient amongst them, but he is an incredible fighter.
That's why
He
his
is gifted.
weapon is a bow staff, is because
Yeah, you've heard the theory of why Splinter gave each of the four guys their weapons, right? Because of their
I have
personalities.
not. What is this?
Oh, do you want to break it down, Tony? Or should I?
now go ahead. It's all you.
So, Splinter, realizing this, right when he, seeing the real personality of his four sons, and he gave them each a weapon to reflect their thing. To Leonardo, he gave the swords because
he was the
knew,
most ethical.
because Leonardo
yeah,
is the
actually
most ethical,
disciplined.
and
He gave him the deadliest
Because-
weapons because he knew when to not take a life.
that he also knew that he would be the one who would know when necessary to take a life.
Okay, so
No, you're not interrupting me on this. I'm going to finish this.
really
thing.
quick.
No, you're going to let me finish this, and then you can interrupt me. Shut up, Tony. To Raphael, he gave the Sai, the most
So
defensive
you were
weapon.
saying, Taylor?
Hey, I'm in the middle here.
I was going to throw it past you. To Raphael, he gave the most defensive weapons because his son was the most angry and would be the most likely to take a life. So he gave his son the most defense-oriented weapons.
The
To
size.
Donatello, he gave the bow staff because at the end of the day, it's a stick, and he wanted his son to be able to improv, have ingenuity and think and be able to build the most with just his stick. To Michelangelo, the most undisciplined, he gave the nunchucks because they're the weapon that requires the most disciplined training.
The most focus.
Exactly. And so that's why to each of them he gave their specific weapon to best suit them and round them off as a person.
He gave the ADD turtle nunchucks. That's awesome.
So what I was gonna
He
what I was
gave the
going to
super
say was
genius
not
a
gonna lie.
stick.
The entire time that I got up and you guys were still talking about this, all I could think was one of the not the new one that came out, but one of the newer ones when Donatello says, "You know the plan," and then jumps, and Mike is like, dudes, he
Are
jumped.
you talking about the
He
Flash
jumped.
movie or the Flash series? Because also, yes.
Are you answering David?
Yep.
Is that what you just randomly said that with no context?
Yep, I'm answering David in the chat.
So, but yeah, all I've been picturing is Mikey saying, dudes, he jumped.
You talking about the Michael Bay movies?
Yeah,
That is.
Can we talk about the elevator scene in the Michael Bay
That's
movies?
Out of
That
the
was
Shadows, right?
amazing.
Yep.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Because
Out of
at
the
their
Shadows.
heart, they're all brothers.
Oh yeah.
The elevator one in the first movie.
MC Mike. So great. The turtles looked horrible, but the movies actually.
I didn't mind the look of the
didn't
turtles.
hate
I
them.
said it
Because
might have
that was the
been.
first show that's the first any sort of media I've seen that actually through just the illustration of the turtles gave you a look at what their personality was like, who they were.
Yeah, but I did.
I
Like
got
all
an
the junk
idea
and
of who the
crap all over
turtles
there.
were before they even opened their mouths and started talking. And I appreciate that. That's a good thing to have in media.
Dudes,
I
I'm
just
in the
didn't
zone.
like the way they looked.
Starting to break.
I do agree with your idea of giving them characteristics, giving them uniques,
Yeah.
and giving them
So
a
maybe
idea of
less
personalities.
mutated, but also
And
more
also,
character.
less
in their
crap all over their
design.
shells. They looked like, I know they live in sewers and it's garbage, but it was like distracting amounts of just miscellaneous crap all over their shells. It was like
Okay.
all over them for their persons. Like,
I love
a
the
little
I love the
less crap and
fact
more
that they
trim.
gave the most angry out of the four of them that he made him knit while being punished. Made him
Oh,
knit.
yeah.
Yeah, they're.
So
But what an easy punishment that was, though.
Not really. That's actually very hard to do if you don't know how to do it. It's very frustrating too if you
I
don't.
think if I had to pick someone's punishment, I'd probably pick. Well, maybe Mikey's just because he's doing a handstand on a
Yeah,
chair.
he was
But,
doing great until
like, I would,
I
would
Splinter
pick
put pizza in front of
Raph's
him.
punishment before I got over to
Leo.
Leonardo's or Donatello's.
Chopsticks and eggs while on like a book with a bowling ball underneath it.
It was on a board.
Yeah,
It was a board.
Donatello had the worst one.
Oh yeah, the
Don't-
ping pong paddles.
He had to bounce a ping pong back and forth while spinning.
Yeah.
Donatello had the
And then
worst
Splinter
punishment.
spun him faster.
well,
That
he's
gives
the
me
one with the
vertigo
most
just thinking
focus,
about it.
So.
He was also the one holding down a conversation. Notice how most of the other brothers weren't talking, but the voice of reason to try and convince Mikey to not give up was Donatello in that moment. It
Yeah, the
wasn't
whole
Leonardo,
talking about the
it wasn't
impossibilities
Raph,
of the piece. Of
It
the
was
the
pizza.
Donatello
of the
who had
99
the
cheese pizza.
hardest punishment, and he was the voice of reason in the moment.
Well, that's because
David-
Donnie's broken.
David just said that the Flash movie wasn't bad.
David,
How
you
dare
can leave
you.
the comments now.
I
I
have not
haven't
watched
I
it,
haven't
so
watched
I
it
don't
either,
know.
so I can't give an opinion.
I haven't watched it.
Oh, I can.
There's
I
about
can.
15 minutes of good content in that movie.
Yeah,
And
but
it's when-
you can be pretty hard on
and
movies
it's-
because you both watch way too many movies.
You know what? I enjoyed the Meg too.
But we've all been to movies together, and you guys know my theater etiquette. I try to keep my voice down, not be disruptive.
But as soon as
anything
it's
like
over,
that. Yes. 5 minutes into this movie, I
horrible.
shouted out loud, "That's not how the Flash's powers work."
I bet you got a lot of looks in that theater.
there weren't that many people in the theater.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Tony was
near
3 of 'em.
empty. Well done.
Kenny
Good
from
job.
out
Good
of
job.
nowhere with the left hook. But no, there's about 15 minutes of good content in that movie. It's when Michael Keaton or Ben Affleck are on screen. Tell me, Tell me that the scenes with Michael Keaton were bad.
Michael Keaton.
And Ben Affleck's were also
Michael
really
Keaton
good.
did.
So
a
we have
really
to
great
assign
job.
ourselves Naruto characters.
I don't know anything
I
about
don't know
Naruto.
anything about Naruto.
I know a lot about Naruto.
I mean, I could.
I know
follow
Naruto.
along.
Give us actual. Don't just like mess with like, oh,
It's
you're this
been a while.
character. Like actually
It's-
give us characters and explain why.
It's
Oh,
been a while since I've watched Naruto, but I can keep up with this.
Sakura.
No.
No, what's the
Excuse
pink-
you.
What's the pink-haired one?
That is
That's
Sakura.
Sakura.
Yeah, Sakura.
No. No, but you're also not Hinata.
No, I am definitely not Hinata.
I don't
Okay.
think you're Ino either.
No,
No.
I'm not.
I don't think you're Ino. Let's see. Let's start with David since he brought it up. Who would David be in Naruto?
Who would David be? I think David could.
I could kind of see him being
I could.
Guy Sensei.
Yes, but I could also see at some points he can kind of be like Kiba, but I think Guy Sensei is more accurate.
I think he's got kind of that goofy personality, but he's also really good at just punching people.
Usefulness. No.
He doesn't
I bet.
talk
I bet.
like Guy, though.
I bet we could get David to wear the green jumpsuit.
Let's see. What else could David be? He
He could be B.
No, because he doesn't go around rapping.
Oh, that's true.
That's
That'd be more Gabe.
If there's a character in there that trolls to the highest degree, that is David.
I don't know.
I mean,
I do know.
I mean,
because he's
Kakashi
made
does
you and
quite a
me
bit.
both shout at him.
It
at the
depends
same
on what
time.
company Kakashi. Kakashi's a person whose his personality changes according to who he's with,
this is true.
and David's not like a bull, and then people fill in his personality.
This is true.
David's David no matter what, and Kakashi just kind of reflects the company he keeps.
That's very true. It also depends on if you're thinking regular the first Naruto or you're talking about Naruto Shippuden.
Let's see.
I don't know who else David could be.
I'm trying to
can't
find
think of
just
anybody.
that right fit. Who's somebody that does goofy things, but's pretty good at fighting?
Goofy things, pretty good at fighting.
I would say
and
Naruto
when you
himself,
cross
but
that
I
line, you're gonna cry.
That's not a helpful description.
No.
That last one.
what about Toby?
Toby Rama? He's not goofy or funny in any way. He's just dead serious all the time.
No, I'm thinking of something.
Who's kind
No,
of
there's-
fun-loving for the most part?
It is Toby who I'm thinking that wears the orange spiral mask, yeah?
No. Well, okay. I thought you were talking about Toby Rama.
No.
Are you talking about
I'm talking about the guy.
Obito?
Yeah.
And then he was I think he was called Toby for
He
a
was
long
called
time.
Toby when he was part of the Akatsuki.
Yeah, but he's the most trolly character, but like he would eat, sleep, breathe troll. Like that was his whole character. He was
But David can do that, though.
Yeah, but he
Not-
doesn't
no.
like eat, sleep, breathe, talk in a funny voice all the time.
Depends on if it's David or David. Remember, there's two different people.
Toby, huh?
I feel like
He said-
David.
He said that he sees himself as Naruto because he was a failure until he turned 16.
Oh.
Rough, dude.
That is a backhanded
Can we throw a heart
insult.
on that?
I mean, I said Naruto, but I feel like
I got you.
Naruto's too
I got you, buddy.
explosive for David
Yeah.
to be Naruto.
He doesn't have the antics or the kind of body movement for Naruto. Because he's a pretty slow-moving guy. Let's see here. We
I can't think of anybody.
he could
We're trying. No, there's so many different characters in the show we're talking about that
who
it's not one you
could
watch. It's
he
an
be?
anime.
he could
It's
be
called
Hashirama.
Naruto. He could be.
Yeah, I can see him being like Hashirama. Hashirama had a goofy side to him, but he was really powerful.
Yeah.
I can see David being what a compliment that is to
Right.
be Hashirama too. He could be Hashirama. David, what do you think about that? Are you Hashirama?
It'll take him
Like a really long time. All right, well, we're gonna move on. So, David, I'm submitting Hashirama for you.
I agree with this. I second this. motion.
Hashirama, the first Hokage. All right, now who should we talk about, Taylor? Which one of these guys should we discuss as if they're not in the room with us? Tony, or
Let's go with
Ian?
Ian.
All right, Ian.
Right.
Who would Ian be? Ian would be.
Like I said,
Alright, let's
I
say-
feel like Ian has the short fuse of Naruto, but he also does not have the
The
same
antics.
antics.
Yeah. He's got the body of Killer Bee.
Yeah.
He's got the-
Is that a compliment
you know,
or
he
an
kind of
insult?
reminds me of A.
Both.
Like
Huh?
not B, but A.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of A,
Yeah, I could see that one.
but like a patriotic A.
Yeah.
What is there like someone that's like A but like patriotic in the Narutoverse?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Who's in the Anbu Black Ops?
Um.
No one that really fits him
He
though.
said he'll take it. That's awesome.
I would take it too if I was like, dude, you're like Hashirama. I'd be like, oh,
What about,
thanks. That's freaking dope. The Mary Sue character that is Hashirama.
Yeah,
The man could do no wrong.
I can't think of anybody with a short enough fuse
Um,
on Anbu that would.
I would just assume A,
Yeah.
the
A.
Raikage. He's the leader of the village hidden in the clouds.
Yeah.
Is that a compliment or an insult?
He's
A mix of both.
he's the most physically domineering and quasi fastest ninja.
He said Donzo.
Donzo?
Even,
No, because he does he like has a
Fascist.
conspiracy theory of
Tyler would be
Donzo,
so
but he's
proud
not
of me.
evil.
Yeah.
Donzo is like that
Donzo-
stereotypical like backroom making CIA deals.
You know, secretly plans everything and manipulates everything that the way
Yeah.
he wants it to be.
Okay. Oh. I guess. Okay. Tyler was so proud of me, Tony. I'm
Okay,
fascist.
So
so
you're-
I
we're
would
gonna
call
go with
you
A.
the Raikage. All right, now we gotta do Tony.
Now we got a Tony. In your car?
What?
Character on that.
The Choji.
Big
No,
Yeah?
Choji's a little too innocent.
Yeah,
No,
nah.
Choji's too innocent for Tony.
Yeah. Choji's too
I'm not sure how to take that statement.
Choji is like he's a really soft, gentle giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean, he can
It's
put,
it's
he
hard
can,
for him to hurt people.
He can do it, but it's hard.
It took him a long time to get over it.
Yeah.
Like his father had this whole arc with him about
He didn't.
willing
I
to
don't
like
think he
harm
really,
things
like,
because he was
got-
too worried about protecting everything.
Yeah.
Like, must that butterfly learn to live off of your support?
Mm-hmm.
Tony. Who's somebody that complains a lot?
He complains a lot.
I'm
I
gonna-
would say Sheikah, but
Oh, the daughter?
Like I want to
No,
be,
no,
I
not
want to be
not
insulted
Sheikah,
by that, but I
Shikamaru.
can see it.
Shikamaru.
No,
Shikamaru.
no, nope,
Hey, your friend
Nope.
said bye.
Bye.
nope. Not Shikamaru. Nope,
Who else complains a lot?
nope. I can see kind of like the backstory of Shikamaru, but not as a character. No.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't go around saying, "This is a drag,"
This is true.
in like a somber tone all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
He's who is he most like? He is
He says Choji's dad, Shigaramu, but Tony doesn't have the IQ.
he's talking about Shikamaru.
I don't even know if Shoji's dad
I
would
hope-
be the right one because
Yeah.
Shoji's dad was supposed to be a guy that we don't see him very often,
No, I
but
think
from
he
what
only
little
shows-
we
he only
get
shows
of
like-
him is he was supposed to be a guy that was
I found somebody better for him.
what?
Ibiki.
Ibiki. He has to remind me who Ibiki is.
He was the proctor for the first exam when they became Getting. The big guy with scars.
Oh,
the interrogator.
the
Ibiki.
interrogator.
Yeah, Ibiki. I think Ian could be Ibiki.
I don't know. Ibiki's a little bit too serious for Ian. I need to find somebody for him that can at least have some sense of humor in some degree. And I don't think I've even seen Ibiki smile.
He smiled once. I've seen it once.
I'm gonna stick with because Ibiki doesn't have like the domineering physical presence that Ian does. Like he's a bigger guy, but I think A is a much better fit.
Yeah, that's true. But I was trying to think of that Ibiki while we were trying to do Ian. But back to Tony. Who complains?
I don't think Tony's soft enough to be Choji's father.
No, he's not.
Who could Tony be?
Who could Tony be?
Who could Tony be? Who could Tony be? Who's a bowl full of jelly? The Santa Claus isn't in this universe, so I can't just go with the default.
Santa Claus is in every universe.
Unconfirmed. Who could Tony be? Who is Tony?
I would
That's
say he's got some level-headedness as like the third Hokage, and he does, just from what I know, has a
Hagaramu?
couple of the other. I don't want to say that word. I'm trying to think of another word to use that.
I don't know if he's Hagaramu, because he wouldn't have treated Naruto like an orphan. Who's Naruto's teacher?
Oh,
Iruka Sensei.
Yeah.
He's Iruka Sensei.
Yeah, there we go.
You're
Iruka Sensei.
His father figure.
He
Throughout the entire show.
gets this big head and just screams at him.
Who's this?
Iruka Sensei is Naruto's father
We
figure.
need to have
throughout
a
the
sit
series.
down and make them watch this.
Yeah. Iruka Sensei is
Not
the
really
guy
an
that
anime guy,
Naruto
I'll
asked to
pass.
be his
I
father
think you'd actually
at
like
his
this one.
wedding.
I
Iruka Sensei,
see Iruka
he's supposed to be the first person to believe in Naruto.
Technically he is. When I see Iruka Sensei, I see him yelling at Naruto.
He's the guy
messing
that's
around
like
in class.
constantly
You know,
yelling at
just
him
a-
for his
this
antics.
Big head, and little body, and he's screaming at him.
A
lot. A lot.
David says Nagano, the ultimate complainer, or Nagato.
Nagato?
Yeah, Nagato.
Really? Nagato?
Mm,
I don't
I
think
can't-
he's
I
the
can't-
ultimate complainer.
I don't think
How do
he
you
could.
spell Naruto?
Naruto.
And make sure you're looking at Naruto, not Shippuden. Because Shippuden's the aftermath.
Why are you looking for
I think Iruka Sensei fits in.
I agree.
I think
Iruka Sensei.
Iruka is the most fatherly thing besides Pervy Sage.
Yeah.
Jiraiya.
Jiraiya's pretty pervy.
Yeah, but I don't think Jiraiya. No, Jiraiya. No, it's the Jiraiya.
That's right.
Iruka
Here.
Sensei is more fatherly to him.
You want me to find him?
He has. Oh, dadgummit, dog! He's about to rip this cord off of. This. There we go. Wow, that was like a train wreck.
Here, let me see your phone, Tony. That's not Iruka Sensei.
Yeah, but Iruka is supposed to be like the original father figure to Naruto. He's the one that's always getting upset with him about his antics, telling him, "Hey, like kind of like how you describe Gabe, like, hey, you're supposed to be, you can be better than this. I know you are, but you just keep goofing off and not focusing."
Hey, we got someone else on the chat. Hey, Vivian.
Woo! So I think Tony would be Iruka Sensei. I think Ian would be A.
Yes, and David is
Hashirama.
Hashirama.
I think he's just goofy enough and serious all at the same time that it sums up David.
So then who are you two?
Who would be Taylor? Taylor, who would you be?
Who would I be?
Like I said, I don't think you're Sakura. I don't think you're Ino, and I don't think you're Hinata.
Hold on. Let me finish my notes.
Who would you be? Okay, we got a little bit of time left. Who's the, and I don't mean to be insulting, but who is supposed to be the weapon specialist from Shikamaru's team?
From Shikamaru's team?
No, not Shikamaru. My bad. That's from Lee's team. From Lee and Neji.
Lee?
Lee and Neji, and then who was the
May.
girl? Who?
Isn't it?
Tenten.
Yeah, the
Tenten.
Tenten.
And I don't mean to be insulting by saying Tenten, but like you give me Tenten vibes.
I don't mind Tenten.
Because
so that's
she's
fine. I can live with that.
she's got that really like deterministic vibe to her, where she gets angry and then she's got to do something until she wins, kind of thing.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's what
I agree.
David said. 10-10.
Tenten.
Tenten.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taylor gives me Tenten vibes
Okay. now we
because
gotta-
like if there was a character that's going to use a bow and arrow in Naruto,
Me!
it'd be Tenten. Because she's
Okay.
the weapon specialist.
Yeah. Okay. So now we gotta do Kenny.
We gotta do me.
Neither do you.
I'm not gonna be part of this discussion. I'm gonna let you guys flounder.
You have to be part of it because it's just
I
me.
found 1010 without you. I found 1010 without you. Who would? I do have a group of friends that consider me Guy Sensei. Just because I have this long rolling joke with me and Evan, who's my good long friend.
Yeah.
We try to find ourselves in any media that we watch and see who we are as friends. And so we consider ourselves Guy and Kakashi, me and my friend Evan.
I can
But
see that,
I'm
but
here
at the
asking
same
what
time,
you guys think I am.
Guy Sensei.
He's the guy in the green jumpsuit
There-
that always does poses.
you can't just say that because Lee dresses exactly like him.
He's just his dwarf version of him.
I was just about to say, isn't that Rock Lee's
Mentor, yes.
Yeah, it's his sensei, yeah.
I can see that.
But yes,
can
Burn
I
him with the flame of youth!
I have to agree.
I can actually see that.
I
I've seen enough Naruto.
He's the
to
one
be
that
able
gets
to pick
Kakashi
it out.
to go into a race fight and they start throwing cutlery at each other while they're running.
No. That's no.
That's Kakashi and Guy. That is.
Yeah, he's
but
the
they also
coconut. He's the coconut head sensei.
yes, but I was gonna say, isn't that because there's also a time when Guy is running with Kakashi passed out on his back.
David said Kiba.
Kiba? He thinks
No,
I'm Kiba, huh?
I don't think Kiba fits. I think Guy fits more than Kiba.
I don't think Kiba's goofy enough.
I don't. Well, he is when he's younger, but when it comes to Shippuden, he's not.
I don't even recall him being goofy in Shippuden. Like in the tuning exams, he's portrayed as like a very serious and aggressive character.
That's what she just said. Like in the base Naruto, he's goofy. But
He's
in
a little
Shippuden,
goofy,
he's
but not as much as Naruto. But
I'm disagreeing with that.
I can see Kenny as Hayden.
Hidan?
Hidan. Yeah.
Hidan the cultist?
no.
Oh,
No.
I don't like that.
No. I think Guy is a good fit.
Like,
I think
I
Guy is a
understand
good
where he's
fit.
coming from because Hidan does a bunch of goofy things. But
He really-
I don't
he
like
does.
The analogy.
He does, but that man swears.
He's a psycho.
God.
Hidan's a straight up psycho.
It fits.
You
You
don't
think
even
I'm a
know
psycho?
who it is.
Maybe.
I'm never coming to you for advice ever.
No,
kidding.
I think Guy fits pretty well.
I think I like to compliment people that I've given descriptions thereof, but called me Hidan. I called you Hashirama, dang it. And you call me Hidan? I want my compliment back. Call me Hidan.
I think he's just.
To be fair, I wasn't too keen on Kiba
He
either.
says, yeah, he's. I'm thinking he meant to say goofy, but he spelled it goody. He's goody, flamboyant, and tall.
Goody.
There's taller people than him. He's not that tall compared to a couple of the other people.
I mean,
he
there's
hangs out
taller
with.
people than Kenny too. So
Okay, so we've kind of got our people. Guy Sensei for Kenny. We're going to call it. Now, here's another one that I think all of us have seen. If not, then I know at least you, the three of us, have seen. Each of us as Dragon Ball Z abridged characters.
Okay, I haven't seen this one. I can't be a part of
If any
it.
of you say Krillin, I will fire all of you. I will figure out a way to do this.
Kirin.
Bulma.
And the Japanese. The
Chi-Chi.
Japanese.
Chi-Chi.
In the
Chi-Chi.
Japanese, his name is Kirin.
I can't even give my opinion on this
In the
because I haven't seen
Japanese, his
it.
name is Kirin.
Very flattering. We
Who
gave
was
you a
it?
very flattering character.
I'm
Oh,
not
in the
sure
Japanese,
if
his
I
name is
agree
Kirin.
with
I think
your
that's who you
description
agree.
of that.
Krillin?
I didn't
So-
say that.
That-
I said Kirin.
No,
David?
I know exactly what you were
David
getting
is
at
Ten
with that one.
Shinhan.
Ten Shinhan?
In the abridgment, he is Ten
No,
Shinhan.
because he's the guy
I
that's...
am not Goldo. You drop it right now.
No, David is Cell. David is Cell.
I could see David being Cell so much.
I can totally
I
see
could not
that.
think of a more perfect character than Cell. David is Cell.
Okay.
Perfect cell.
Perfect Cell.
Well, just Cell in general. The personality is the personality. He just has different body parts with which to tell his jokes.
Bruh.
I was gonna. Well, okay. I guess you're. Well, no, because like, imperfect cell is more creepy, whereas perfect cell is more
Slimy.
elegant.
I just think Cell in general is
Yeah.
David.
Fair.
I'm not going to disagree with you because David does seem to have three personalities. One of them we named David.
So then-
what would Ian be?
Mr. Perfect Cell, he said.
Now I want to self-label myself Vegeta because I have the temper for it, but I don't know if that's
You care about things that Vegeta doesn't.
fair.
Yeah.
Tension
If we're picking on him.
Keep
No,
That's
going.
not that's not too far off.
No, if we're picking on him, then in Yamcha.
I am not Yamcha.
See? Ow. Worth it.
I think you just proved their point.
No, I did not, because unlike Yamcha, I can hit
What?
Yamcha can hit.
the ground after as a corpse.
I'm so
The
glad you-
ground.
Ha,
That
ha,
was a good
ha.
response.
Ian is Tien.
I guess I'm Tien, which
Oh.
I'll take that one. Tien's a pretty good character.
Okay, if you're willing to lie in that bed, then I won't stop you.
I mean, there's worse characters than Tien. Like I said, my initial is I'm so angry Vegeta works, but
That's the Kikoho guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kiko, how you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you do. The only
nice shirt.
The
Okay.
only serious character
Tony.
in DBZA. and
He's
that's
supposed to be the
joke.
straight man.
Tony,
He's the
Yes.
straight man.
who would everybody be in Doctor Who?
We're not finished.
We're
with
not
you.
there yet.
Ah!
How dare you interrupt us?
I
That's
thought we were
actually
done.
a good one because, especially if you go, you can only choose doctors because
Yeah.
each doctor did have a different personality.
Yeah, this is true.
Who would Tony be in the DBZ abridged? Because I kind of give Tien. I would think Tony would be Tien personally,
You know, I can see Tony
but we
being
gave
Tien.
Ian Tien. But I think Tony would be
we
Tien.
could change that though, because Tony does give very Tien vibes, especially because
Yeah.
Tony is oftentimes the straight man in a lot of their jokes.
But I also want to say Piccolo.
I mean, he is probably the best father
Why?
here.
The same reason I picked Iruka Sensei.
The father figure thing.
Yeah.
All right. Fine, I'll take it.
So,
I'm Tien,
but
he's,
I could see either one of you
Apparently
being
that's a
Tien.
personality trait now.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to pick, like things that you would
I
want
could
to.
see you
I'm
being
not
pot-
arguing with you.
I can see you potentially. You have aspects of Gohan to you.
Gohan, huh?
I can see. Tell me you can't see aspects of Gohan and Kenny.
Yeah.
I could also see a little bit of Trunks in Kenny.
Oh dear.
Trunks is way too serious. Way too dramatic.
I would love to say me and Tony could do this with Assassination Classroom,
me,
but I
too
haven't
dramatic?
watched it in a while to know remember everybody's name and
Oh,
personality.
David could definitely do this for Assassination Classroom. He's the one who pushed me to that in the first place.
I've watched Assassination Classroom with David.
Yeah, that's a good show, by the way.
It really is.
I don't know it well enough to start naming
I
off
honestly think
characters.
Kenny's Gohan.
I can't think of a better character to put him as
Really?
at this point in time.
So we go with Gohan. You are Gohan. I don't know who that
Wait,
is,
are
but
we,
okay.
wait, we are just going DBZA, right?
Oh yeah, we're only doing the abridgment. 'cause
There's
I've
a
never seen the
lot of
actual
characters
series.
in DBZ. Hey.
We're only doing the abridgment, so.
There's
Yeah,
a
but
lot of
there's still a
characters
lot
in
of characters.
Naruto.
Yeah, but I arrived at some pretty healthy conclusions in Naruto.
This is
DBZA doesn't have as much characters as Naruto.
Like I said, I get very Gohan vibes from
Well,
Let's
so it's
see.
like Gohan's got that kind of tucked away psycho.
Tucked away psycho.
him. Is that a red flag? Crimson!
Why do you always end up being a psycho, Kenny?
I don't know.
kind of, if we're doing DBZA, I kind of want to say Goku.
He's not that dumb.
He's tucked away. He's actually really smart when it comes to certain subjects.
Yeah, and Kenny's really smart in a lot of subjects. Kenny's a very broad, smart man. Credit where credit's due, Kenny's a very intelligent person.
All right, I'll get it. Krillin?
No, because he's not a failure.
Dope.
You
I'll
complimented Kenny. Good job.
Only took me 3 years.
Let's see.
Birder, Burtur.
No.
Birder, the
You're Nail.
He
I'm
is
Nail.
nail.
He's
You think
Nail.
I'm
He is
Nail?
the most
You are
nailed nail to
absolutely
ever
Nail.
nail.
I don't know if I would have to pick Nail. I think David would be Nail
No, David's
because
not
I don't troll
Nail.
like Nail does.
Well, that is true. He does troll.
He
Just
Like,
Kenny
no,
trolls,
okay,
just
think about it
not
like
as
this. When Nail
bad.
goes into Piccolo's mind, which is Tony, who do you think it would be doing the things inside his mind,
Okay,
me or
yeah.
David?
No, David has to be nail.
Kami?
You think I'm an old man?
No, he's not. He
Listen,
Kami is
I
too
am
serious.
just trying.
Kami is
I am
too
trying to
serious.
assign literally anything to you that isn't Android
So we can split David
17.
up. David is either Perfect Cell or Nail.
You have some perfect cellisms in you two, I can see.
Well, hopefully I'm not mean
No.
about it.
No, but you just the smugness and the suave, you have that, and you can do like the.
As long as we're not saying Frieza.
No,
I'm not gay.
No.
absolutely.
No.
not.
I'm not gay. Just putting that out there.
It's just-
Really having to drive that home lately, bud. There's something you're insecure about?
Just want to make sure we're on the same page here.
Tony, look at me. Dodoria.
Dodoria?
I'm glad we're not saying boo either.
Dodoria?
Dodoria.
Dodoria?
No, wait, not Dodoria, the other one.
No!
The other
Absolutely not. No! That guy is gay.
No, he's
No,
not.
he's not. He's
he
got
has
a
a girlfriend.
girlfriend.
He actually specifically asked you Screens this thing to call his
Yeah,
girlfriend.
but whose name is Chuck?
That's not confirmed. That's
No, it
that's from
is.
Frieza.
Frieza says, whose name I'm convinced is Chuck.
But
He's
he never,
convinced. He never confirmed.
I think that is the best pick.
No.
Yeah.
Corrin.
No.
I can see Kenny as Corrin.
I don't even know who Corrin is off the
Isn't
top
he
of
the
my head.
fat one with the
Isn't?
sword?
Yeah, he's the Bean Daddy, isn't he?
Oh, no.
Bean Daddy.
That guy's a coward.
He also cuts off Vegeta's tail, though.
And then runs away.
Wouldn't
We're talking about DBZ abridged.
Yeah, I've never seen DBZ. I only have a British
He's
reference
fat,
on.
out of shape, and he's a coward.
Wow, that does sound like Tony.
I
Ouch.
am not a coward.
I love
I feel like if Tony was actually in combat, Tony would actually run. I feel like he would actually run.
I know. Tony would fight.
I am not a coward. I've
Oh,
never-
we're not here to discuss what Tony would do in a fight.
I don't know. I really what is Frieza's primary henchman's name? What is that guy's name?
I can't think of it. I'm trying to think of it. Trust me, but no.
Yes, Tony.
No.
Tony, tell
I
me I'm
don't
wrong,
act like that guy at all.
I mean,
buddy.
No.
Buddy,
This
We're
isn't
all
up for
convinced
debate.
But remember,
all convinced
but,
you're in
but
the
remember,
closet,
Kenny.
so are we
remember,
about him.
Kenny. This is what they think you are. Not what
Yabori.
you.
Yabori?
yeah, YAHIROBE.
I don't know if that's his name, David.
No, Corrin is the cat.
Yeah, Yajirobe is the guy. with the sword.
Yonder-
Oh, yeah, Jarobi. Yep.
Zarbon. You're Zarbon.
No, I'm not Zarbon.
You are
Zarbon.
110%
I'm not Zarbon. You
Sorry,
guys,
Kenny.
if you
You can
guys
have
watch
Zarbon.
Zarbon, you would know I'm not Zarbon.
Zarbon.
He doesn't even say it like that.
Say it.
Zarbon, a couple more. Dodoria, a couple more. Couple more. Sorry, bro. You're Zarbon. Love you.
I'm not Zarbon.
You were
Okay.
I'm
So
so not
Kenny,
Zarbon.
Kenny is Zarbon.
I'm not Zarbon.
So
oh my lord,
Tony?
no.
We're so Zarbon.
Tony?
I am not some suave
dude, it's
underwear
either-
wearing
At the end of the day, you're.
Fabio alien.
You're so Zarbon.
I don't even have long hair like Zarbon.
Okay, Tony.
I'm not bald like
Doctors.
TN. And?
Doctors.
I mean, we haven't.
I'm
even
not
really-
Zarbon.
Sorry, Kenny.
I'm not letting this go. I'm not Zarbon. It doesn't
You're
fit my
Zarbon, bro.
personality.
It does, though.
No.
It kind of does.
No, it doesn't.
Tony, back me up
I
here.
can only help with 9 through.
Zarbon does not fit me.
That's the only ones I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
Is the modern doctor.
You got to back me up on this,
Not
Tony. He
classic.
is Zarbon.
You're
I
basing
couldn't
this-
do classic doctor.
Pick off of a joke that you guys started.
No, but you also have some
Okay,
of those
first
suave
off,
isms.
I didn't start the joke. A viewer of our shows did.
I didn't start the fire. Okay.
You do have the suave isms of Zarbon, just like I also said you had him for Perfect Cell. You
I
also
mean-
have him for Zarbon because they're the same kind of isms.
So like, wait, we forgot about like Dr. Giro.
I don't think he's Dr. Giro.
I don't think I would be Dr. Joe either.
Weeblo?
How did we jump from Gohan to Zarbon?
Well, because I disagreed with Gohan.
And-
I don't think.
Like
you-
I get why you disagree with Gohan, but Gohan was more accurate than Zarbon. Good
Really
lord.
was. Sorry, bro. You are Zarbon.
Lord chilled.
Lord what?
That's what David said. Lord chilled.
Oh, Frieza's dad?
Frieza's grandfather.
Oh.
Lord chilled. King Cold's dad.
Oh, yeah. I can't say I know. I don't think I've ever seen him in the
The
abridged series.
Bardock, the Bardock special series.
Still. I don't think I've
will.
watched it, but I don't remember it.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Sorry, Kenny. You're Zarbon.
I'm not
You
Zarbon.
are so Zarbon.
There's no way I'm
Okay,
Zarbon.
moving on to doctors.
I'm no more Zarbon than you
Okay.
are Vegeta.
We are on
Oh.
doctors now.
Who's the bald guy?
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
Nappa.
He is
No.
not Nappa.
Nappa.
Okay.
He is
Tony.
grossly unintelligent.
You are more Zarbon than Nappa.
We'll start with Kenny because we can't figure out.
I don't think we can get you in there, man.
Really, you can't think of a single DBZA character?
Well, okay. So here's the thing: they're all kind of goofy, but every one that I choose, it's either like you maybe Piccolo, but like less fatherly. And the only reason why I'm really going in that direction is because I've seen you train people, and that's in a different light. I've seen you become that kind of somewhat fatherly mentoring figure before. So if you
Yeah,
are
but I'm not going around
somebody-
screaming dodge and watch them get hit by tires and whatnot.
Well, no, because
Want
you're
to,
the
though.
one
You're
that's
more of a
out there.
hard butt than I am when it comes to training.
There's no soft trainer in DBZA. I'm going off the only one that actually trains someone how to fight. Gohan was the
Okay,
same
how
way.
about this? How about
Gohan threw Trunks in the river and said, "Fly up."
Okay.
While he was
How about
Gohan
this?
did that because they were paying homage to the funny bit about him being trained by Piccolo.
That's
How-
what I'm saying.
Okay,
though.
then how about we just agree? David is Perfect Cell. He is Nail. And that way,
I'm
because you do
Nail.
have Nailisms. You are very Nailish.
You do, and you get under my
I,
skin
I'll,
quite a
I'll
lot.
I'll step back off of Zarbon for Nail because you are. I do see more Nail than Zarbon, but Zarbon is definitely number 2.
How are we?
Okay.
How did we get here?
Should we do Kenny first or Ian first?
Oh my lord! What time is
If we got Ian, we are at 2s.
it? Oh,
Let me finish this up because I can do this really quick, especially if we're labeling doctors.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. So if I am going to throw down anyone, this one's probably 13, not 13, 12.
Yeah,
Which
he
one's
could.
12?
Peter Capaldi.
Peter,
But
Okay.
the Scottish.
But the first half of.
Yeah, I could see him being the.
No, because the second half of Capaldi's thing was written by a different showrunner and kind of made him
That's
stupid
true, but
and goofy and less, for lack of a better term, bloodthirsty. Whereas Capaldi,
at the beginning of it, yeah, I guess
yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, 12 was very I will screw you up type of doctor.
Yes, he was.
Especially if you screwed with anyone that he loved.
But so was Tennant, though.
no, Clara, he took a special exception over.
That's true. Okay, yeah,
Gabe is Dodoria. That's what David says.
you are Capaldi.
Gabe is Dodoria.
Yep. So he's got 12. This one's definitely 10.
Gabe's
10.
not Dodoria. It's a funny joke, but he's not
Yeah,
Dodoria.
I could see Kenny being David.
Tenet?
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah,
That's my favorite.
you got 10. David is 9.
Yeah, big ears.
Yeah.
Image
not-
to all.
Not just not,
Image
not-
to all.
Yeah, not just the ears thing, but like all of the trolling, the determination, the intelligence, everything about it lines up perfectly.
This
with 9.
this is true.
It's 9, 10. You had 12. I guess that would put. I'm not giving you 13. That is an insult.
Yeah, yeah. That is.
I would give.
13.
I would probably have to put you in at 11 then.
I actually like Matt Smith, so I will take that as a win.
I like Matt Smith. Either that or. So the War Doctor's technically, I think, 7.
Yeah.
He's not quite battle hardened yet. He hasn't eliminated the. He's still somewhat innocent, even though he's in the middle of the Time War.
Yeah.
But he hasn't hit the button to eliminate the Time Lords yet.
Yeah.
Um,
I could see that one. Is
So
yeah.
either
I could also see Tony being King Kai.
you 7 or 11, and then the same that goes for me.
Yeah.
Like, if he's not Piccolo, he's
I
King Kai.
I feel like you would be more 7 than me. because you're gonna put everybody else first, even if that means.
But he didn't. He wasn't going to. Was the thing. Remember what they said in the Day of the Doctor.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
He lived his life. By the time he got to 11, that was the one who regrets.
Yeah.
So in his mind, in that timeline, in his mind, he actually killed literally everyone.
Yeah. That's true. But I will take Matt Smith.
I totally
will
forgot
take
about
him.
King Kai.
I think you're King Kai.
King Kai and Popo.
Pow pow.
I'm not too worried about Popo. I don't think anyone's deranged.
No.
I don't know if anyone.
No, he's not gay enough.
What?
Dende's not. Oh, I guess.
Not
Yeah.
gay
Nope. That's
enough?
right. Dende is gay.
He's like a pedo gay.
Yeah.
Also, no, and shame on you.
You're welcome.
No.
I think War is technically 9 because he was. No, he was actually
He was before 9.
He was not technically 9. He was like Doctor number 7 or something like that.
8.
8.
Probably 8.
I'm gonna have to double check, but Chris was
I can tell you.
actually
Hold
9. If you want to get into technicalities, David was both 10 and 11 because there was a regeneration process that he hijacked and kept himself as the David Tennant era. So that's where the skip happens.
Okay.
All right, that is it for everyone there. We went ahead and we talked a lot about geopolitics, which I know Kenny's been itching to do for so long now, and you got to hear us assign characters.
He comes in between 7 and 8. Sorry, looking at the calendar because they're all numbered.
Dr. 7.5.
7 and 8 season or regenerations?
It doesn't specify because there's. If you look at the calendar, there's 7, and then the next page it's War Doctor and 8 on the same page.
Doctor 7.5.
Platform 9 3/4.
I guess I'll have to read my Doctor Who stuff to kind of get that taken care
I
of.
don't know. Given the fact that she's won both
Don't
competitions
start
about
with me.
Doctor
I
Who
think she
trivia,
gets the overall.
I'm
thing.
going to have to go with Taylor on this
Agreed.
one.
You're outvoted, Tony.
As
You know
she
what?
has proven
the-
superior to
do the
you.
intro.
Here, you know what?
Do the
If
intro.
you really
The
want,
outro.
if you
Yeah,
really
the
want,
outro.
Tony,
The
I
outro.
found somebody
You did this
else.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys for joining us in another episode of Off the Rails. I've been your host, Kenny, and I'm joined here with
Tony, the one who's really upset now.
you and me both.
Yeah. Don't forget to
Ian?
do all the social medias, like, share, subscribe on the Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, all that stuff. And next to me is
Ian, who totally thought he was just going to end the podcast there without saying goodbye, letting us get a chance to say goodbye. Next to me is our diversity hire.
I'm Taylor, and I still rule over the Doctor Who world until somebody can beat me, which apparently he sucks. And
I don't test well, okay? It's rigged.
Apparently.
You quite literally set the record in the state for a
It's rigged.
test.
It's shush.
You just don't know Doctor Who.
Shush.
he has a point. And
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank
on
you for
this
joining
episode
us.
of Off the Rails, where we discuss things that we were apparently very passionate about, and we got called things that we kind of agree with. And as always, it's